Chapter 368. Following behind the middle-aged man, they walked to the end of the corridor and turned to the right. At that moment, Qin Feiyang saw an iron door in front of him. It was completely black and exuded a hard and heavy texture. In front of the iron door, there were 4 guards guarding it. Their auras were very strong. They were 4 9-star battle monarchs. Qin Feiyang couldn't help but be secretly speechless. If he hadn't thought of this method, it would be harder than ascending to the sky to sneak into the warehouse. "Greetings, Mississippi." When they saw Lu Hong, the 4 of them cupped their hands and bowed. The middle-aged man smiled and said, "Miss wants to go to the warehouse. Please open the door." He was the manager of the transaction pavilion, but the warehouse was not under his control. The 4 of them were stunned. One of the guards waved to the middle-aged man and Qin Feiyang. "You guys go down first." The middle-aged man nodded and didn't dare to stay any longer. He turned and strode away. But Qin Feiyang didn't move. He was worried about letting Lu Hong go in alone. Seeing that Qin Feiyang didn't move, the guard frowned and said, "Didn't you hear me tell you to go down?" Lu Hong frowned and scolded, "He's my personal guard. I didn't even say anything. What right do you have to order him?" "Personal guard?" The 4 of them looked at each other and couldn't help but have a trace of jealousy in their eyes. Being the personal guard of the young miss, they could usually get a lot of benefits. This person didn't look good and wasn't strong. How could he be so lucky to be chosen by the young miss? Lu Hong shouted, "Why aren't you opening the door? Do you want me to do it myself?" The guard hurriedly said, "I don't dare." "But miss, you have to be gentle. Don't disturb the old master." "What?" Qin Feiyang's pupils constricted. Could it be that the old master was in seclusion in the warehouse? In that case, wasn't it equivalent to a sheep entering the tiger's den? Lu Hong was also shocked in her heart. If it was in the past, she would definitely be flustered when such a sudden change happened. But ever since she followed Qin Feiyang, she had experienced too many things. Her temperament had also unknowingly transformed. Not to mention strategizing, he was still able to remain calm in the face of danger. He panicked slightly, but he quickly calmed himself down. He said impatiently, "I know. I don't need you to remind me. This little master is really hard to serve." The 4 guards were filled with helplessness. One of them turned around, took out a token, and inserted it into the groove on the door. Immediately, the iron door opened silently. "Miss, please come in." Next, the 4 of them retreated to the side. Once an arrow is shot, it's hard to turn back. Even though they knew that the old master was in seclusion, the 2 of them could only brace themselves and walk in. Because if he didn't go in now, those 4 people would definitely be suspicious. After entering the warehouse, the guard closed the iron door. In the meantime, Qin Feiyang and Wang Chong also secretly became vigilant and scanned the storeroom. The warehouse was about 100 meters long. On the ground, pitch-black metal frames were neatly arranged. On the iron rack were all Xueqi bags. And they were all categorized. The medicinal pills were all placed on a metal rack. The medicinal ingredients were also uniformly placed on the other 3 iron racks. Moreover, on each Xueqi bag, there was a note. It was clearly written what was inside the Xueqi bag. Qin Feiyang and Wang Chong were stunned. The wealth here was simply beyond imagination. According to their preliminary estimate, there were at least hundreds of Xueqi bags. This was a huge treasure trove. After Lu Hong came back to her senses, she whispered, "Do we do it now?" That weak voice could only be heard by the 2 of them. "No, the old master is here. If we do it, we'll be finished. We have to think of a way to lure him out first." Qin Feiyang whispered. Lu Hong frowned, "I don't see him." In 100 meters, the 2 of them could see everything clearly. Indeed, they didn't see any trace of other people. But those 4 guards definitely wouldn't lie. Qin Feiyang carefully scanned the 4 walls again. Suddenly, his eyes locked on the wall on the right. There was a trace of a door there. It might be a secret door. The 2 of them walked in and took a look. It was really a secret door. The 2 of them whispered to each other for a while. Lu Hong reached out and knocked on the door. "Who is it?" An old voice came from inside, slightly hoarse. Lu Hong replied obediently, "Grandpa, it's Meave." "So it's this old man's little granddaughter." Hoarse laughter sounded. Soon, The secret door opened, and a white-haired old man walked out. He glanced at Qin Feiyang, then looked at Lu Hong and said with a smile, "What's the matter, Grandpa?" Lu Hong said, "Grandpa, Father asks you to go to the Great Council Hall." The old man frowned and asked doubtfully, "Did something happen?" "Yes." Lu Hong nodded. Qin Feiyang cupped his hands and said, "Old Patriarch, 2 months ago, a person called Qin Feiyang came to our White Fox City. He repeatedly went against our Meng family, and even killed many of our Meng family's people." "Qin Feiyang?" The old man lowered his head and pondered for a moment. He frowned and said, "I've never heard of this person." "We've never heard of him either. Originally, the Patriarch didn't want to disturb your seclusion. But that Qin Feiyang has the ability to come and go without a trace. For 2 whole months, he has been in the City Lord's mansion, but no one can find him, not even the Patriarch. So, we can only ask the old master to come out of seclusion." Qin Feiyang said indignantly, "How preposterous! How dare you cause trouble in my Meng family's territory?" The white-haired old man flew into a rage and said, "Let's go, follow this old man to meet him." Lu Hong said, "Grandpa, I want to stay here and pick a few weapons for self-defense. It's good to stay here, so that when we fight, we won't accidentally hurt you." The white-haired old man smiled and looked at Qin Feiyang. He shouted, "Protect my good granddaughter well. If she loses a single strand of hair, this old man won't let you off easily." Qin Feiyang bowed and said, "I swear to protect Miss to the death." "Okay." The white-haired old man nodded and was about to leave, but he suddenly looked at Lu Hong. Qin Feiyang's eyelids twitched. Did he see through the clues? Lu Hong was also a little flustered, but she forced herself to be calm and asked in confusion, "What's wrong, Grandpa?" "Good granddaughter, when you came last time, weren't you only a 1-star martial arts grandmaster? How did you break through so quickly?" The white-haired old man said in surprise, "That's because your granddaughter is talented." "Why? Are you jealous?" Lu Hong smiled mischievously. "This old man is jealous of you? Little girl, you really don't know the immensity of heaven and earth. Do you know how powerful Grandpa is? But I can see that you're working hard to cultivate now. Continue to work hard. Don't let Grandpa down." The white-haired old man smiled. "Yes." Lu Hong nodded heavily. "So obedient?" The white-haired old man was stunned and said with a smile, "My good granddaughter has finally grown up and become sensible." After that, with a gratified smile, he turned around and landed in front of the iron door, pressing a black button beside it. The iron door suddenly opened. Then, the white-haired old man strode out. After the iron door closed, Qin Feiyang immediately gave Lu Hong a thumbs up and said with a smile, "With your current temperament, you're already able to take charge alone." Lu Hong blushed and said, "If you weren't by my side, I would have been exposed." She was not flattering him. With her current relationship with Qin Feiyang, there was no need to flatter him. This was the truth. With Qin Feiyang by her side, she felt particularly safe. Qin Feiyang smiled, glanced at the Chenkuan bag on the iron shelf, and said, "Hurry up and do it." At the same time, with a wave of his hand, he pulled Fatso and Wolf King out. As for the pangolin, he didn't trust it that much. If he took 1 or 2 Chenkuan bag for himself, wouldn't he lose a lot of money? Damn, so many. We're rich, we're rich. Looking at the Chenkuan bag one after another, Wolf King and Fatso seemed to have eaten stimulants, jumping up and down, crazily plundering. Qin Feiyang turned around and walked into the secret door. Inside was a cultivation room that was about 20 to 30 meters wide. On the left, there was another door. He walked in and saw that it was an alchemy room. Alchemy and cultivation were both here. This was simply the old man's personal treasury. Pill furnace. Suddenly, his eyes lit up as he walked to the pill furnace on the stone platform. However, upon closer inspection, a trace of disappointment crept onto his face. The pill furnace was completely black, without any treasure light. This meant that this was only a second-grade pill furnace. He then noticed that there was an iron box the size of an adult's palm next to the pill furnace. He opened the iron box, and a fist-sized flame immediately entered his line of sight. It was alchemy fire. This alchemy fire was no different from ordinary flames. It didn't seem to be of a high grade. However, every kind of alchemy fire was extremely rare. Therefore, He did not hesitate to take it into the castle. He also took away the pill furnace. Although the grade was the same as the bronze pill furnace, he could still keep it as a backup. Last time in the Sea of Despair, it was because he did not have a backup pill furnace that he wasted a few months of time. Otherwise, he would probably be a 7-star battle king by now, or even an 8-star battle king. Boss, we've looted everything. At this time, Fatso, Wolf King, and Lu Hong happily walked into the alchemy room. Qin Feiyong asked, "Are there any battle arts?" Lu Hong said, "I haven't had the time to check yet." Qin Feiyong pondered for a moment, and said, "Lu Hong, take all the Chenkuan bag to the castle first." Lu Hong was slightly stunned, and asked, "Don't we need to hide our identities?" Wolf King waved his claws and said indifferently, "All the treasures are in our hands, what's the point of hiding our identities?" "Yes, there's no need to hide anymore." Qin Feiyong's eyes flashed with a cold light, and he sent Lu Hong to the castle. Next, he took out a facial restoration pill, restored his original appearance, and threw away the beast skin coat on his body. "Let's go and loot the medicinal herbs on the second floor." Qin Feiyong waved his hand and strode out of the alchemy room. One had to know that there were many precious medicinal herbs on the second floor. For example, 9 Suns flower, fire ginseng, scarlet fire-colored glass pill. These were all wealth. Heh. When Wolf King and Fatso heard this, they immediately chased after Qin Feiyong with a sinister smile. Walking to the iron door, Qin Feiyong pressed the button, and the iron door quickly opened. "Miss, you're out." The 4 guards turned to look. However, when they saw Qin Feiyong and Wolf King, their expressions changed drastically. "Why are you in the warehouse?" The 4 of them shouted, their auras exploding. "Are you pigs? Is there a need to ask?" "Of course we're here to rob." Chapter 369. Robbery. The 4 guards were shocked. Their gazes swept past the 2 men and the wolf and looked into the storeroom. When they saw the empty iron frame, the 4 of them felt as if they had been struck by lightning. Their bodies and minds trembled. "Attack!" Qin Feiyong shouted. Boom! Wolf King stood up and instantly turned into a muscular wolf. His 2 thick claws fiercely struck out. 2 guards were sent flying. Blood spurted from their mouths and they fainted on the spot. "You deserve to die." The other 2 guards were furious. Battle chi surged out like a torrent. Carrying an astonishing momentum, they rushed towards Wolf King. Humph! Qin Feiyong coldly snorted. He took a step forward and clapped his hands in the air. The 2 battle chi changed sides and submerged the 2 guards. Cries of agony could be heard. What happened? Could it be that someone is causing trouble in the exchange pavilion? The commotion came from the storeroom. Everyone in the exchange pavilion was alarmed. Da-da-da. Accompanied by a burst of hurried footsteps, one by one, the guards frantically ran towards the 6th floor. At the same time, the middle-aged man with a square face also rushed out of the VIP lounge with a bewildered look on his face and ran towards the warehouse. Suddenly, at the corner, 2 men and a wolf appeared in his line of sight. Qin Feiyong. The middle-aged man's gaze suddenly trembled. Why was he here? Could it be? He could not help but have a terrifying thought in his mind. "You're courting death," the middle-aged man roared. A pitch-black battle sword appeared behind his back. This was his battle soul. The battle sword pierced through the air. With an astonishing sharpness, it slashed towards the 2 men and the wolf. Scram! Qin Feiyong roared. Golden light burst out from his palm as he slapped towards the battle soul. Clang! The battle sword turned in the air. Like a graceful swan, it actually cut the middle-aged man's body into 2 halves. Blood splattered on the spot. What? The guards who rushed up first were all dumbfounded when they saw this scene. He was actually killed by his own battle soul? Was this a dream? Scram if you don't want to die. Wolf King shouted, his ferocious aura surging. The guards panicked. None of them dared to step forward. They kept retreating. 2 people and 1 wolf quickly rushed up to the 2nd floor. City Lord's mansion. Inside the conference hall, the Meng family lord and the 3 leaders chatted happily. Whoosh! The white-haired old man suddenly appeared outside the gate. "Father?" The Meng family lord was stunned. He hurriedly stood up and asked, "Father, have you made a breakthrough?" The white-haired old man didn't answer. He looked at the three leaders and said with a faint smile, "So you guys are here too? It's been many years since we last met. How have you been, old master?" The three leaders also cupped their hands and smiled. At the same time, he was observing the white-haired old man's cultivation. If this person really broke through to the 4-star combat emperor, then the situation of the three major tribes would be even worse. He observed for a while. They all heaved a sigh of relief. The old master's cultivation was still at the 3-star combat emperor realm. He exchanged some pleasantries with the three leaders. The white-haired old man then turned to the Meng family lord and asked with a frown, "What's the matter with Qin Feiyang?" The Meng family lord was stunned and asked with a puzzled expression, "Father, how did you know?" The white-haired old man said, "Tong told me." "What's the matter with this girl? Didn't I tell you not to disturb the old master?" The Meng family lord frowned. "Why didn't you inform me when such a big thing happened? Now you're blaming Tong. Is this how you act as a family lord, a father and a son?" The white-haired old man shouted. The Meng family lord felt wronged and said, "Father, I didn't want to disturb you because you were in seclusion. Seclusion is important, but the reputation of the Meng family is more important. Tell me, where is Qin Feiyang? As long as I come out of seclusion, his death will come." The white-haired old man's voice was stern, and his old face was full of contempt. "During this period, he has been trapped outside, but I accidentally let him slip away. Now I don't know where he is hiding, but I can guarantee with my head that he is definitely still in the city lord's mansion." The Meng family lord said solemnly. "Family lord, bad news." But at this moment, a guard ran into the meeting hall in a hurry. The Meng family lord shouted, "What are you panicking for?" Qin Feiyang and the others ransacked the warehouse of the trading pavilion and are now ransacking the medicinal herbs on the second floor. And many guards were killed by them. The guard shouted. "What?" The Meng family lord and the old master's expressions changed suddenly. The three chiefs looked at each other in disbelief. One had to know. The Meng family was the local tyrant of this area. Even the three tribes did not dare to go against the Meng family. But this Qin Feiyang actually ransacked the warehouse of the trading pavilion? Just who was this kid? How could he be so audacious? Most importantly, the warehouse of the trading pavilion was heavily guarded. They did not have the confidence to sneak in. So how did this person do it? "I fell into a trap, damn it." The old master suddenly understood. The Meng Tong he saw before was not his biological granddaughter at all. "Quickly go and see if Tong is in the boudoir." The old master hurriedly left a sentence, then rushed out of the hall and flew towards the trading pavilion. "The three of you, please go ahead." The Meng family's patriarch cupped his hands and said to the three leaders. Then, he immediately rushed to the back garden. His heart was full of worry. "We underestimated that kid. Yes, at first, I thought he was just a grasshopper who could not jump for long. But I did not expect him to do such an earth-shattering thing. Let's go to the trading pavilion and see if he has 3 heads and 6 arms." The three chiefs' battle chi surged, turned into a stream of light, and quickly rushed out of the hall. At the same time, on the second floor of the trading pavilion. "This is a robbery. Don't move. Otherwise, you will end up like them." Wolf King stood in front of a few corpses, with his head held high and his chest out, looking majestically at the scene. The guards, staff and guests were all gathered together, looking at him in horror. As for Qin Feiyang and Fatso, they were sweeping the medicinal herbs as if there was no one else around. "Qin Feiyang, you will not have a good ending for doing this. It's not too late to turn back now." The young woman also stood in the crowd, looking at the medicinal herbs being taken by the two into their chenkuan bags. She was extremely anxious. "Shut up. Don't think that I won't kill you just because you are a woman. If you piss me off, I will still cut you into pieces." Wolf King shouted. The young woman's pupils constricted, and she no longer dared to speak. After a few breaths of time, Fatso happily held a chenkuan bag and ran in front of Qin Feiyang, smiling. "Boss, we can leave now." Qin Feiyang also held a chenkuan bag in his hand, and glanced at the counter where the medicinal herbs were placed. After confirming that not a single one was left out, he threw the chenkuan bag to Fatso, and then sent Fatso to the castle. Next, he walked to Wolf King's side, glanced at those people and said, They are not from the Meng family, hurry up and leave. All the guests and staff immediately ran downstairs in a panic. In the end, only the group of guards and the young woman were left. Qin Feiyang looked at the woman in surprise and said, "So you are also from the Meng family?" The young woman said coldly, "You won't be able to escape, surrender." "I really didn't think of escaping." Qin Feiyang smiled faintly. "Why are you spouting so much nonsense? Kill them all." Wolf King's ferocious nature erupted. Like a violent beast, he rushed towards the group of guards. At that moment, screams rang out one after another. The young woman was also so scared that she kept retreating, her face filled with fear. Soon, the guards all fell to the ground. Wolf King's eyes revealed a fierce light, and was about to kill the young woman. "You deserve to die." But at this moment, a hoarse growl sounded out. Qin Feiyang and Wolf King turned around and saw a white-haired old man standing at the staircase on the second floor. Who else could he be but the old master? Wolf King hurriedly ran to Qin Feiyang's side. This old fellow was a 3-star war emperor. If he was too far away from Qin Feiyang, he would lose his life. "Da-da!" The old master walked into the hall step by step. Glancing at the corpses all over the floor and the counter that had been looted, the killing intent in his eyes became even stronger. Whoosh! The 3 leaders also rushed up from the corridor. When they saw this scene, their hearts were set off by stormy waves. Entering the hall, the 3 of them looked at Qin Feiyang and Wolf King. 5-star war emperor? They were stunned. With such little strength, they dared to go against the Meng family? Seeing the 3 leaders, Qin Feiyang was not surprised at all and said indifferently, "Are you here to help the Meng family?" "Help." The 3 of them were stunned. The burly man shook his head and said, "We're just here to join in the fun." Then the 3 of them retreated to a corner and watched coldly. "How do you want to die?" At this moment, the old master suddenly raised his head, staring at the man and wolf, and said coldly. Qin Feiyang smiled faintly and said, "I'm afraid we won't die today. As long as this old man comes out of seclusion, you won't have a chance to live. If you know what's good for you, immediately hand over the treasures in the warehouse. I can still consider leaving your corpses intact." The old master said. Wolf King sneered and said, "You want us to spit out the things in our pockets? Do you think it's possible?" "Well, you asked for it." The old master's eyes were filled with murderous intent, and a terrifying aura suddenly erupted. Thump. At this moment, the Meng family lord ran up anxiously and said in shock and anger, "Father Tong-er is missing." "What?" The old master's body trembled, and he immediately shouted at Qin Feiyang, "Did you kill her?" Qin Feiyang said, "No, she's fine now, but if you dare to do it, it's hard to say." The old master said in a deep voice, "Let her go, leave the treasures, and this old man will let you leave White Fox City." Qin Feiyang was surprised. He didn't expect this old man to care so much about Meng Tong. "Let her go, there's no problem. Anyway, she's just a small character. But you have to give me the coordinates of Sky Thunder City or Purple Sun Tribe. As for the treasures, don't even think about it." Qin Feiyang said. Stubborn. The old master was furious. He actually dared to threaten him? Boom. The pressure of a 3-star combat emperor erupted in an instant. Immediately, a man and a wolf were imprisoned. At the same time. Chapter 370. Although she was a woman, she was very ambitious. As long as she killed Qin Feiyang, it would be a great merit. When the time came, she would be the manager of the trading pavilion. There was even a possibility that she would be favored by the old family head and would have a meteoric rise in the future. Normally, she would not dare to make a move, because her strength was not as strong as Qin Feiyang. But now, Qin Feiyang was imprisoned by the pressure, which was equivalent to a fish on the chopping board, waiting to be slaughtered. How could she let go of such a good opportunity? However, dreams were beautiful, but reality was cruel. Just as she approached, Qin Feiyang suddenly turned his head and grinned at her. "You can still move?" The young woman was shocked. The old family head, the Meng family lord, and the 3 leaders were all in disbelief. "It's normal for women to be ambitious. But your mistake is that you shouldn't have used me to get to the top." Qin Feiyang pointed his finger, and the battle aura was like a rainbow, directly entering the young woman's forehead. "Ah, Accompanied by a shrill scream, the young woman fell to the ground and died. How dare you kill my Meng family? The old family head was burning with anger. He stepped in front of Qin Feiyong, and the battle aura in his old hand surged as he slapped Qin Feiyong's head. People of the Meng family, just wait to wail. Qin Feiyong roared and instantly disappeared without a trace. The roar spread in all directions, echoing in the sky above White Fox City for a long time. At this moment, as long as it was a member of the Meng family, they could not help but panic. He can really disappear into thin air. In the hall on the second floor, the three leaders looked at the place where Qin Feiyong disappeared, and their eyes almost popped out. The old family head's expression was the most interesting. On the one hand, he was shocked. On the other hand, Qin Feiyong slipped away under his nose, which was tantamount to slapping him hard in the face. Father, don't worry. He can't move. As long as we stay here, he'll come out sooner or later. Seeing that the old family head was on the verge of exploding in anger, the Meng family lord hurriedly comforted him. Unable to move? Good, very good. You go and pacify the people. This old man will wait here personally. The elderly head stared blankly for a moment before bursting into laughter. Naive. At this moment, a cold laugh rang out. Qin Feiyong appeared in front of the old patriarch out of thin air. He was holding a person in his hand. It was Meng Tong. Whoosh! Qin Feiyong grabbed Meng Tong's neck and hurriedly took a few steps back before the elderly master and Meng Tong could react. Tonga! Let her go! When they came to their senses, their expressions changed and they shouted at the same time. My patience is limited. Give me the coordinates immediately, or I'll kill her. Qin Feiyong's eyes flashed with killing intent. How dare you? The old family head roared. I even dared to rob the storehouse, not to mention killing someone. Qin Feiyong sneered. The elderly master and Meng Tong were speechless. That's right. Not only did he rob the storehouse, but he also wreaked havoc in the city lord's mansion. Why would he care about a life? This person was simply a lawless master. Meng family lord said angrily, using a woman as a shield, are you still a man? Don't make it sound so dignified. One of you is a 3-star combat emperor, while the other is a 1-star combat emperor. How dare you shamelessly attack me, a 5-star combat king? In terms of shamelessness, I'm no match for you. I'm just giving you a taste of your own medicine. Qin Feiyong's eyes were filled with mockery. The three leaders looked at each other with a hint of mockery in their eyes. The Meng family used their power to bully others. This was nothing new. Seeing the Meng family being humiliated, they felt quite satisfied. The elderly master and Meng Tong were silent. Qin Feiyong sneered, nothing to say? How about this? Send a few 5-star combat kings to have a fair fight with me. If I lose, you can do whatever you want with me. But if I win, you have to tell me the coordinates. What do you think? Qin Feiyong asked. The elderly master and Meng Tong were so angry that smoke was coming out of their heads. Even a 9-star combat king was no match for this man. Now, he wanted them to send a 5-star combat king to have a fair fight? Wasn't he trying to embarrass the Meng family? Can't I? Then just send a 9-star combat king. Well, I'm a reasonable person. I'm easy to talk to, Qin Feiyong said with a smile. The three leaders' faces twitched. Is this what you call being reasonable? This is easy to talk to? To hell with it. You want a fair fight, right? Fine, I'll fulfill your wish. I'll suppress my cultivation to 9-star combat king and fight with you. Meng family lord took a step forward and looked at Qin Feiyong provocatively. Seeing this, the three leaders couldn't help but shake their heads. As a 1-star combat emperor, challenging a junior who was only a 5-star combat king was already embarrassing enough. However, Meng family lord actually said that he would suppress his cultivation to 9-star combat king? Didn't he find it embarrassing? Even if he wanted to suppress his cultivation, he should have suppressed it to 5-star combat king, the same cultivation level as Qin Feiyong. Only then would it be fair. The elderly master also frowned. Obviously, he was very dissatisfied with Meng family lord's reckless behavior. However, he had no other choice now. This was because the other 9-star battle monarchs were simply no match for Qin Feiyong. However, Qin Feiyong was not stupid. If the Meng family lord suddenly regained his peak strength during the fight, wouldn't he die? Anyway, he couldn't accept such a ridiculous challenge. It seems that we can't reach an agreement. Then we'll follow the original plan and use the coordinates to exchange for Meng Tong's life, Qin Feiyang said. The Meng family lord looked at the unconscious Meng Tong, his eyes full of struggle. A moment later, he looked at the white-haired old man and growled, "Father, give him the coordinates." The elderly master said, "We can't give it to him unless he returns all the treasures to us." "But what about Tong Er? She's your granddaughter. You can't leave her in the lurch," the Meng family lord said anxiously. "I know. I don't need you to remind me," the elderly master said angrily. He was already very annoyed. The Meng family lord's words were undoubtedly adding fuel to the fire. Qin Feiyang glanced at the father and son and said with a faint smile, "I'll give you 3 breaths. 3 breaths. The Meng family lord's body trembled. He turned his head and looked at the elderly master pleadingly. However, the elderly master ignored him and even closed his eyes. 3 breaths passed quickly. Suddenly, the elderly master opened his eyes. 2 cold lights burst out from his eyes. He pointed his finger without hesitation. Whoosh! 6 murderous battle cheese shot toward Qin Feiyang and Meng Tong like lightning. What? The 3 leaders' eyes widened in anger. The elderly master was going to sacrifice his granddaughter. "Father, no!" The Meng family lord's expression changed abruptly. He hurriedly cried out, but it was too late. Puff! The 6 battle cheese were like sharp arrows. They sank into Meng Tong's body. Instantly, blood splattered across the sky. Ah! The heart-wrenching pain woke her up. She immediately let out a shrill scream. At the same time, Qin Feiyang also felt a strong sense of danger. All the hair on his body stood on end. Driven by instinct, he quickly abandoned Meng Tong and entered the ancient castle. In the blink of an eye. The moment he entered the ancient castle, the 6 battle cheese swept out from Meng Tong's back and blasted forward. If it had been a little later, he would have definitely died on the spot. Boom! Accompanied by a loud bang, the trading pavilion collapsed. The trading pavilion has also collapsed. The people on the streets were all in a daze. Could it be that even the elderly master could not do anything to Qin Feiyang? Boom! Soon after, 5 figures rushed out from the ruins. They were the 3 leaders, the elderly master, and the Meng family lord. The Meng family lord was still holding Meng Tong. However, at this moment, they were all covered in dust and looked extremely miserable. As soon as they came out, the Meng family lord roared, "Father, you're too cruel to even kill your own granddaughter." "Shut up! Look at Tong Er's condition first before you blame me." The elderly master shouted coldly and scanned his surroundings, looking for Qin Feiyang. The Meng family lord was stunned. He lowered his head and looked at Meng Tong. His eyes immediately lit up. Although the 6 battle cheese had pierced through Meng Tong's body, none of them were fatal. Moreover, his breathing and heartbeat were still there. As long as he took a healing pill in time and recuperated for a few months, he would be as good as new. It was only now that the 3 leaders realized what was going on. It turned out that the elderly master did not really want to kill his granddaughter. He just wanted to save her. However, this method was a little extreme. If he was not careful and injured his heart and Sea of Qi, Meng Tong's life would be over. The Meng family lord took out a healing pill and put it in Meng Tong's mouth. He asked, "Father, have you found them?" The elderly master shook his head. The Meng family lord said in a low voice, "They must be hiding." The elderly master said, "Don't worry about this. Take Tong Er back to recuperate first." "Okay." The Meng family lord nodded. He turned around and flew into the city lord's mansion, disappearing from the main hall. The elderly master looked at the 3 leaders and asked, "Can the 3 of you do this old man a favor?" Old man Snakeskin smiled sinisterly. "Tell us first." The elderly master said, "Use your battle cheese to seal off White Fox City. Don't let Qin Feiyang escape." The burly man frowned and said, "Doing this will consume a lot of battle cheese. What benefits will we get?" The elderly master said, "After this matter is done, I will give each of you 100,000 battle chi pills." Deal. The 3 leaders' eyes lit up. They did not even hesitate and nodded in agreement. The elderly master said, Then let's begin. The three leaders rose into the air and stood in a tripartite formation high in the sky. Boom! The next moment, their bodies shook, and their battle chi gushed out in all directions like tidewater. In less than 10 breaths, a huge barrier formed and fell with a loud bang, enveloping the entire White Fox City. The elderly master glanced at the barrier and rushed into the sky, looking down at the huge city. From now on, no one is allowed to leave White Fox City. Once found, kill without mercy. His voice was like a bell, and everyone could hear it clearly, including Qin Feiyang in the castle. It seems that the Meng family is prepared to fight to the death with us. The pangolin was a little worried. What are you afraid of? Since they want to play, then we'll play with them. I'd like to see who will regret it in the end. Wolf King's eyes were full of disdain. Qin Feiyang glanced at Wolf King, and his eyes flashed. Swish! With a thought, he appeared in the ruins and looked up at the three leaders. Three leaders, have you never thought about why the elderly master is the only alchemist in this area? Chapter 371. Hearing this, the three leaders couldn't help but be stunned. At the same time, the elderly patriarch also heard it. Damn it! He cursed in his heart. With a wave of his big hand, his battle chi condensed into a giant hand that covered the sky and slammed down on the ruins below. Boom! With a loud bang, the ruins were reduced to ashes, and a huge deep pit appeared. The aura spread in all directions. The crowd on the streets on all sides were sent flying, and screams were endless. Some people even died on the spot. Is he dead? The elderly patriarch waved his hand, and a strong wind whistled, blowing away the dust and smoke. Then he glanced at the deep pit, his expression uncertain. Whoosh! Suddenly, a white figure appeared out of thin air in the deep pit. Who else could it be but Qin Feiyang? Why is he still alive? The elderly patriarch's eyes widened in anger. Qin Feiyang glanced at him, then looked at the three leaders and said, "Do you want to know the truth?" "What truth?" the burly man asked. "Don't listen to his nonsense. He's trying to sow discord between us." The elderly patriarch shouted, and then swooped down toward the deep pit, his eyes filled with murderous intent. He couldn't care less about the treasures now. He just wanted to kill Qin Feiyang to silence him. There are no alchemists in this area, and it has a lot to do with the Meng family. After Qin Feiyang finished speaking, he disappeared again. Bastard, get out here. The elderly patriarch flew into a rage and crazily bombarded the deep pit. Inside the ancient castle. Little Qin Zi, didn't you say that it's useless to tell them? Why are you telling them now? Wolf King was puzzled. The past is the past, and the present is the present. Before this, I never thought of wiping them out. But now, I want the Meng family to disappear completely. Qin Feiyang's eyes flashed with a cold light. The pangolin's eyes trembled. This fierce man really couldn't be provoked. Outside, the three leaders stood in the air, all looking surprised. How could it be related to the Meng family? Could it be that there was some unspeakable secret hidden within? Old Clan Master sensed their expressions and hurriedly flew up into the sky. He said angrily, "This person has sinister intentions. The three of you must not listen to his nonsense." But before he could finish, Qin Feiyang's voice sounded again. In order to stabilize the Meng family's position in this area, they despicably assassinated other alchemists. Old man, in terms of viciousness, I can't even compare to 1/10 of you. He saw Qin Feiyang standing in the deep pit with a mocking smile on his face. What? The three leaders were startled, and their eyes flickered. Little bastard, don't talk nonsense. The old family head roared. You know very well whether or not I'm spouting nonsense. Leaders, if you don't believe me, you can capture someone from the Meng clan and interrogate them. Qin Feiyang said with a smile. You little brat who spouts nonsense, this old man will tear you to pieces. The old family head's killing intent soared to the heavens. Wait. But at this moment, the snakeskin old man spoke in a hoarse voice. The old family head was slightly stunned. He looked at the three of them and said in a deep voice, "Do you really believe him? This matter is of great importance. We have to interrogate him first." The old woman with a walking stick said, "If we confirm that he is lying, we will kill him ourselves." The burly man followed. Whoosh! The three leaders swooped down and landed in front of Qin Feiyong. The battle chi barrier that sealed off White Fox City also collapsed on its own. What should we do? The old family head was anxious. Suddenly, his old eyes flashed and he said, "This old man will also listen to how you make up nonsense." Actually, he wanted to take this opportunity to get close to Qin Feiyong and kill him. However, he had obviously underestimated Qin Feiyong's intelligence. Qin Feiyong looked up and said with a smile, "Old clanmaster, don't come down. I will be scared away by you." These words were actually meant for the ears of the three leaders. He was telling the three of them that he was afraid that the old family head would kill him. If the old family head came down, he could only hide. "Old clanmaster, you haven't done anything wrong. You're not afraid of ghosts knocking on the door. Don't come down for the time being. Don't worry, we will never wrong a good person, and we will never let a bad person go." When the three leaders said this, the old family head really couldn't go down. Because if he still went down now, it would prove that he had a guilty conscience. The burly man looked at Qin Feiyong and whispered, "Young man, do you know the consequences of lying to us?" "Of course I know. After offending the Meng family, I can't offend your three tribes." Qin Feiyong smiled faintly. The burly man said, "Well then tell us now what exactly is going on. I wonder if the three leaders have seen the trading pavilion selling medicinal herbs?" Qin Feiyong did not answer but asked. Only the four of them could hear his voice. "I saw it. Is there a problem?" The three of them were puzzled. Of course there is a problem. Think about it, the old family head is the only alchemist in this area. Why would the trading pavilion sell medicinal herbs? Doesn't he know that the price of a finished grade pill is several times that of medicinal herbs? Qin Feiyong said. The three of them frowned. Qin Feiyong continued, "These medicinal herbs on the surface are for sale in the trading pavilion. But in fact," the old woman urged, "tell us in fact what?" After hearing it, don't overreact. In fact, the trading pavilion is used to lure alchemists to buy. Once someone buys medicinal herbs, the Meng family will immediately find an opportunity to assassinate them. Qin Feiyong said. What? The three of them were shocked. If Qin Feiyong had not told them in advance not to overreact, they would have jumped up on the spot. The burly man asked, "Little brother, are you sure this is true?" Before, he called Qin Feiyong young man, but now he called him little brother. From this subtle change, it could be seen that he already believed Qin Feiyong's words. "It's absolutely true." Qin Feiyong nodded. The three leaders' eyes darkened. When the Meng family first came to this area, their three tribes actually had alchemists. But soon after, they died one after another. Some died in battle, while others died in accidents. And later, many alchemists were born. The result was without exception. All of them died young. But because the Meng family did it too perfectly, leaving no trace, the people of the three tribes had never suspected the Meng family. If it weren't for Qin Feiyong telling the truth today, they would have been kept in the dark. However, although they knew the truth, they couldn't help but hesitate at this moment. Qin Feiyong glanced at the three and said, "I know what you are hesitating about." The three frowned. "You are just worried that after the Meng family is eliminated, there will be no one in this area to refine pills. But I can tell you that you don't have to worry at all, because I am an alchemist," Qin Feiyong said. "You?" The three looked at him suspiciously. "If I'm not an alchemist, why would I rob those herbs?" Qin Feiyong smiled faintly. The burly man asked, "You mean, after the Meng family is eliminated, you will help us refine pills?" "I don't have that much time. But I can help you train an alchemist. But you need to find a way to refine the alchemy fire yourself. And as a condition, destroy the Meng family immediately," Qin Feiyong said. Old Man Snakeskin said, "Don't worry about the alchemy fire, our three tribes have it, but we don't have the pill formulas and herbs." "They all have alchemy fire?" Qin Feiyong was stunned, and his heart was in disbelief. One had to know. In the spiritual state, except for the Holy Palace, it was difficult to find alchemy fire. But in the Forgotten Land, not only the old master had alchemy fire, but also the three tribes. Could it be that alchemy fire had spread all over the streets here? No. It made sense that they didn't have the pill formulas. After all, every alchemist would carry the pill formulas with them. When a person was about to die, the pill formulas would naturally fall into the hands of others, or shatter and disappear along with the Xueqi bag. But without herbs, it didn't make sense. Qin Feiyang asked, "Your 3 tribes should be big tribes. How can you not have herbs?" "We originally accumulated a lot of herbs. But every time we buy pills from the Meng family, we give priority to using herbs. The value of the herbs is not enough, so we use gold coins to make up for it," the old woman said. Qin Feiyang asked, "Then you don't find it strange, why did the Meng family do this?" "Generally speaking, they directly used gold coins to buy pills. Who would use herbs to trade? The old master is an alchemist, so it's normal for him to want herbs. And our 3 tribes don't have alchemists, so there's no use in keeping the herbs. So every time the Meng family asked us to use herbs to trade, we didn't refuse. Even in the past, we have always been grateful to him." The burly old man sighed. Only at this moment did they understand that the Meng family's actions were actually to cut off the retreat of their 3 tribes. The Meng clan was truly despicable. "Little brother, how about this? Give us the pill formulas, and we will immediately join forces to eradicate the Meng family. As for the herbs, there's no need to trouble you. We'll slowly buy them ourselves," the 3 leaders suggested. This, Qin Feiyang hesitated for a moment, and said, "I don't know many pill formulas." The burly man said, "It's fine, as long as there are healing pill, body tempering pill, chi gathering pill, and battle chi pill. These medicinal pills were often used." Qin Feiyang said, "I do have these pill formulas." The burly man said, "All right, then it's decided. Now, we'll have to trouble little brother to act out a play with us. I'm the best at acting, but are you guys confident?" Qin Feiyang said in a low voice, his eyes flashing. "Of course we are confident. We are all 3-star war emperor. If we launch a sneak attack, we can guarantee that we can kill them in one strike," the burly man said confidently. Next, the 4 of them slowly darkened their faces and began to argue. And the more they argued, the fiercer they became. "Little bastard, you don't have any evidence. What are you talking about?" Suddenly, the burly man shouted. His palm struck Qin Feiyang's chest like lightning. "Ah!" Qin Feiyang screamed and smashed into the ground behind him, spitting out blood. In fact, the burly man's strength was not great, at most 1/10 of it. But even if it was only 1/10, it wasn't something that Qin Feiyang could bear. He climbed up in a sorry state, the blood and chi in his body surging. He glared at the 3 of them and said angrily, "I'm telling the truth, why don't you believe me? You're still spouting nonsense. You're really courting death." The burly man's eyes were filled with killing intent, and he threw another punch at Qin Feiyang. "Young man, don't waste your time. You're just trying to sow discord between us and the Meng family. Unfortunately, your trick has been seen through by us." At the same time, the old woman and old man Snakeskin had a mocking look in their eyes. "Trick. I promise you'll regret it." Qin Feiyang was so angry that he laughed and disappeared without a trace. "Little bastard, don't hide if you have the guts." The burly man's punch missed and he couldn't help but roar. Seeing this, Chapter 372. Inside the castle. Fatso said, "Boss, you'd better be careful. Those 3 old things shouldn't be good people either." Qin Feiyang nodded and threw down a top-grade healing pill. From the previous conversation, he could already tell that the 3 of them were all old foxes. Indeed, he had to be careful. Outside, the old patriarch landed in the deep pit and said with a smile, "The 3 of you please calm down. As long as we work together, it won't be difficult to get rid of this kid." The burly man turned to look at him and said, "He's always hiding like this. How can we get rid of him? Keep wasting time like this? He can hide for a while, but he can't hide forever. Sooner or later, he will come out. How about this? After this matter is done, this old man will give each of you 200,000 battle chi pills." The old patriarch laughed. The 3 leaders looked at each other, and their faces were full of smiles. They cupped their hands and said, "Thank you, old patriarch." After saying that, they quietly moved closer to the old patriarch. The old patriarch smiled and said, "We're all on the same side. Why are you so polite? Besides, the one who should thank you should be me." "Haha, The three of them laughed out loud. But suddenly, the three of them attacked at the same time, their battle chi surging. The burly man suddenly punched him in the chest. The old woman and old man Snakeskin also slapped him on the back. Ah! The old patriarch immediately screamed, blood spurting out of his mouth. This sudden turn of events left the old patriarch completely dumbfounded. The burly man sneered and took the opportunity to punch the old patriarch's head. Boom! Accompanied by a loud crack, the old patriarch's head suddenly burst, and blood spurted out. The old patriarch didn't even understand what was going on before he died. With a bang, he fell into a pool of blood. Swish! The next moment, Qin Feiyang appeared out of thin air, looked at the old patriarch's corpse, and said with a smile, "The three of you are really good." The old woman chuckled and said meaningfully, "Little brother, you have to keep your word." "Of course," Qin Feiyang said. "Old patriarch." A group of guards stood above the deep pit, their eyes filled with disbelief. They heard the old patriarch scream and wanted to come over to see what was going on. However, he didn't expect that. The old patriarch was actually dead. "Hurry up! Go and report to the patriarch that Qin Feiyang has joined forces with the three leaders." After regaining their senses, the guards turned around and ran towards the city lord's mansion. Qin Feiyang's eyes were filled with killing intent as he said, "I'll have to trouble the three of you to go to the city lord's mansion and get rid of the Meng family lord." The old woman asked, "What about you?" Qin Feiyang said, "I'm going to clean up the remaining evil in the city." The old woman smiled and said, "I don't think that's a good idea. It's better that I go and clean up the remaining evil. You go with the two of them to the city lord's mansion." "You don't believe me?" Qin Feiyang frowned. Old man Shipai laughed sinisterly. "You are too cunning, we have to be on our guard." Qin Feiyang glanced at the three of them and nodded. "All right, I'll listen to you." "Let's go then." Old man Shipai waved his hand and swept up Qin Feiyang, flying out of the pit and towards the city lord's mansion. The burly man was also preparing to fly out of the pit. The old woman grabbed him and whispered, "All the treasures of the trading pavilion are on him. Don't let him slip away." "I understand." The burly man nodded. Whoosh! The two of them flew out of the pit at the same time. The burly man immediately chased after Qin Feiyang and old man Shipai. The old woman soared into the sky alone, looking down at White Fox City with a crazed look in her eyes. The Meng family's people were scattered in every corner of White Fox City. It was too troublesome to find them one by one. She might as well destroy the city and kill everyone. "Go to hell." She laughed sinisterly, stretching out her arm and pointing her index finger in the air. A burst of battle chi shot out and blasted into the city below. Rumble! Accompanied by an earth-shattering explosion, several hundred meters of land was razed to the ground. Everyone died tragically. Qin Feiyang and the other two had already entered the city lord's mansion. Everyone they encountered was mercilessly killed by old man Shipai and the burly man. Not a single person was left alive. Wherever they passed, cold corpses were left behind. The void was filled with a bloody mist, and the smell of blood was pungent. Hearing the explosion outside the city, Qin Feiyang raised his eyebrows and asked, "Is she killing innocent people outside?" The burly man comforted him, "There will definitely be some innocent people who will die. But don't worry, she won't go so far as to massacre everyone in the city." "Is that so?" Qin Feiyang frowned. The burly man sneered, looking at old man Shipai and said, "You take him to the Meng family lord. I will kill everyone in the city lord's mansion." "Okay." Old man Shipai nodded. "Haha, die for me." The burly man turned in the air and waved his hand. A burst of battle chi appeared and turned into countless dazzling arrows, shooting down. One by one, the guards and maids fell to the ground. Miserable screams were endless. What's going on? With such a huge commotion, how could the Meng family lord not hear it? He rushed out from the main hall, and as soon as he saw the burly man slaughtering everyone, his expression changed. Whoosh! Old man Shipai and Qin Feiyang stopped in the air not far from the main hall. The Meng family lord glanced at Qin Feiyang, then looked at old man Shipai and said angrily, "Why are you doing this?" "Why?" "Qin Feiyang has already told us about your Meng family's shady business. Your Meng family even dares to scheme against our three tribes. You're really courting death. Today will be the end of your Meng family." Old man Shipai said with a sinister smile. The Meng family lord's body trembled, His eyes turned to Qin Feiyong and said, "Little bastard, I will kill you." Qin Feiyong said, "The old family lord is dead. What do you have to kill me?" "What? Father is dead?" The Meng family lord was stunned. Right at this moment, old man Shipai pointed at the main hall. A stream of battle chi shot out from his fingertip and blasted into the main hall like lightning. Rumble! The main hall was instantly destroyed. A frightening wave of destructive energy swept out in all directions. Everything in the surroundings was crushed into powder. "Bastard! You're going against my Meng family. You're all going to die." Seeing this scene, the Meng family lord gritted his teeth. He clapped his hand in the air, and his battle chi surged, instantly turning into a giant hand that covered the sky, slapping toward Qin Feiyong and old man Shipai. "You're just an ant. How high can you jump?" Old man Shipai said disdainfully. He pointed his finger in the air. A stream of battle chi went against the flow and easily shattered the giant hand. Puff! The Meng family lord spat out a mouthful of blood. Without the old master, the Meng family is just a bunch of mobs. Old man Shipai's face was full of contempt. He stretched out his hand in the air, and his battle chi turned into a giant wave that covered the sky and the sun, rushing toward the Meng family lord. The Meng family lord's pupils constricted. However, he was not afraid at all. Even without the old master, the Meng family is not something people like you can offend. Right at this moment, a sullen voice sounded. Whoosh! Following that, a white figure rushed out from the dust below and landed in front of the Meng family lord. It was a middle-aged woman. She was wearing a mink fur coat, and her long black hair was tied up high, looking graceful and luxurious. In her arms, she was holding an unconscious young woman, Meng Tong. She turned around and handed Meng Tong to the Meng family lord. Then, she raised her head and looked at the roaring battle chi. Old man Shipai sneered. "I was wondering who it was. So it's the wife of the Meng family lord." "She's the wife that the guards mentioned?" Qin Feiyong was surprised. When old man Shipai attacked the main hall, he had used all of his strength. But this woman was unharmed? Could she be a 3-star combat emperor? The woman lowered her head and looked at Qin Feiyong and old man Shipai, saying, "The strength of the Meng family is far beyond this." Boom! An aura suddenly erupted. At the same time, she raised her arm and pointed in the air. A dazzling battle chi pierced through the sky and collided with old man Shipai's battle chi. Boom! With a loud explosion, old man Shipai was defeated. His battle chi was instantly destroyed, and he spurted out a mouthful of blood. So strong! Qin Feiyong's pupils constricted. He had seriously underestimated the strength of this woman. The aura she released was even stronger than the old master. Old man Shipai was also shocked and filled with disbelief. "Are you surprised?" The woman glanced at the two indifferently. A terrifying aura, like the eruption of a volcano, enveloped the two of them. The burly man and the old woman in the distance sensed the situation here, and their eyes were filled with bewilderment. Whoosh! The two turned into a ray of light and quickly flew over. She is a 4-star combat emperor. At this moment, old man Shipai was completely stunned by the strength of the middle-aged woman. "Don't you know her? Why don't you know her strength?" Qin Feiyong frowned. "I have indeed met her once, but at that time, she deliberately concealed her aura." Old man Shipai was furious. He didn't expect the Meng family to be hiding such an expert. Strange. Why would she conceal her aura? Qin Feiyong mumbled to himself. What was even stranger was that when he held Meng Tong hostage in the trading pavilion, this woman didn't appear. One had to know. As a mother, she would definitely be anxious if she knew her daughter was in danger. Wasn't this person too calm? Was she not her biological daughter? The Meng family lord's eyes were cold as he said in a low voice, "Madam, don't talk nonsense with them. Quickly kill them." Sky-destroying finger. The middle-aged woman raised her hand and pointed in the air. Battle chi poured out like a torrent. In an instant, it condensed into a giant finger that was more than 30 meters long. "Destroy!" As she spoke coldly, the giant finger trembled in the void, releasing a world-destroying aura that blasted toward Qin Feiyong and Qin Yu. "Qin Feiyong, we are no match for her. Quickly take me to hide." Old man Shipai said in horror. Qin Feiyong's eyes flashed as he went to the ancient castle alone. Bringing this old man into the ancient castle was like inviting a wolf into the house. He wouldn't do such a stupid thing. Damn little bastard. Old man Xueqi cursed angrily. Without any hesitation, he turned around and began to flee. At this moment, the old woman and the burly man rushed over. When he saw the huge finger and the middle-aged woman's cultivation, his expression abruptly changed. He turned around in the air and began to flee without looking back. Help me! Her speed is much faster than us. If we don't kill her, we can't leave White Fox City alive. Chapter 373. Heard of it. The old woman and the burly man had a trace of hostility in their eyes. They turned around abruptly and rushed towards the old man. After the three of them gathered, they immediately launched a counterattack. Boom! 3 streams of battle chi surged out and transformed into 3 giant beasts that were dozens of feet long. They roared ferociously and charged towards the giant finger. However, the power of the giant finger was extremely shocking, and it actually crushed the 3 giant beasts. Then, it continued to charge towards the 3 leaders. Puff! The 3 leaders spat out a mouthful of blood. So strong. Her sky-destroying finger is actually a mid-tier battle art. After 1 round, the 3 of them were scared out of their wits and no longer had the courage to fight. Because the battle arts they had mastered were all low-tier battle arts. The middle-aged woman's cultivation was not only higher than theirs, but her battle arts were also better than theirs. There was no chance of winning at all. However, it was impossible to escape. There was only one way left: surrender. Meng family lord, this is our fault. Please let us go for the sake of our past relationship. Yes. We were instigated by that little bastard Qin Feiyang. We are willing to compensate your Meng family for their loss. The 3 of them hurriedly pleaded. The Meng family lord shouted, "Can you afford to compensate for my father's death?" But at this moment, the middle-aged woman waved her hand, and the giant finger collapsed with a bang. The Meng family lord frowned and said, "Madam, why are you doing this?" The middle-aged woman said, "If we kill them, the old family head won't come back to life. It's better to leave them alive and use them for us." The Meng family lord hesitated for a moment and nodded. "All right, I'll listen to madam." "Thank you for not killing us, madam." The 3 leaders were also overjoyed and bowed to thank her. The middle-aged woman said, "From today onwards, your 3 tribes will join my Meng family." "What? Impossible. Our 3 tribes are the most powerful tribes in this area. If we join your Meng family, won't we become the laughingstock of the world?" "Madam, please change the condition," the 3 leaders said. The middle-aged woman said coldly, "Die? Or join my Meng family? I'll give you 3 breaths of time to choose." 1, 2, 3. 3 breaths passed quickly. But to the 3 leaders, these 3 breaths were simply torture. "It seems that you have chosen death." The middle-aged woman's eyes turned cold. "Wait. We agree to merge with the Meng clan," the 3 of them hurriedly said. The middle-aged woman said, "At least you know what's good for you. Come in front of me." The 3 leaders looked at each other, their hearts filled with helplessness and anger. They flew in front of the middle-aged woman and cupped their hands. "Madam, what are your orders?" The middle-aged woman didn't say anything. She placed her hands in front of her chest and formed a seal with her fingers. Wang. Suddenly, 3 pentagrams the size of a baby's palm flew out from her hands. They were majestic and generous, emitting a kind of obscure aura. Whoosh. Following closely, the 3 pentagrams merged into the heads of the 3 chiefs. The 3 of them turned pale and shouted in anger. "What did you do to us?" "This is an enslavement seal. The enslavement seal will fuse with your bloodline. From now on, you are my slaves. You have to obey my every order unconditionally. Otherwise, I don't need to do anything. With just a thought, your bodies will explode and die." The middle-aged woman said. "What? It's actually an enslavement seal." The 3 leaders' bodies and minds trembled, their eyes filled with despair. Inside the ancient castle, Fatso asked doubtfully, "Boss, what is an enslavement seal?" "I'm not sure either." Qin Feiyang shook his head. "But from the sound of it, this enslavement seal should be a kind of battle art to control people." "What do we do now?" Wolf King asked. A wise man knows better than to fight when the odds are against him. Retreat first. The pangolin beast said. Qin Feiyong frowned. Originally, he wanted to use the 3 leaders to get rid of the Meng clan. However, he didn't expect that there was actually a 4-star combat emperor hidden. Now that even the 3 leaders were controlled by the Meng clan, with the strength of the few of them, there was no chance of winning. Forget it, he would listen to the pangolin beast. Anyway, he had already obtained the treasures in the warehouse, so there was no need to take any more risks. He might as well find an opportunity to leave. He took out a teleportation gate, his eyes flashed, and in the blink of an eye, he appeared outside. Immediately after, with a wave of his hand, he quickly opened the teleportation gate. Boom! However, before he could walk in, a battle chi broke through the air and smashed the teleportation gate. Swish! Following that, the middle-aged woman landed opposite Qin Feiyong. Qin Feiyong frowned and said, "What exactly do you want? Do you have to fight to the death?" The middle-aged woman said, "Hand over the treasures in the warehouse and become my slave, then I won't kill you." Won't kill me? Qin Feiyong was stunned and asked, "Why?" The middle-aged woman said, "Because you are an alchemist, my White Fox City needs an alchemist." Qin Feiyong said, "Are you so sure that I am an alchemist? It's not hard to guess. I heard from Meng Yipping that you only looted those medicinal herbs on the 2nd floor of the trading pavilion, but turned a blind eye to those pills. Doesn't this prove that you are an alchemist? Moreover, according to my speculation, your mental strength is not low, otherwise you would not have looked down on those pills." The middle-aged woman said. Meng Yipping was the name of the Meng family lord. Amazing! Qin Feiyong gave a thumbs up, looked at Meng Yipping, and said, "You are such a smart woman, why did you marry such an idiot? He is not worthy of you at all." Meng Yipping shouted, "Impudent, don't be rude to my wife." Ah! Qin Feiyong was stunned. What was going on? Why was there a trace of respect between Meng Yipping's brows? Even if this woman was stronger than Meng Yipping, as a husband and wife who slept on the same bed, she should not have such an expression. Moreover, this woman also called Meng Yipping by his name. The relationship between these two was really thought-provoking. The middle-aged woman said, "I will also give you 3 breaths to consider." 3 breaths? Qin Feiyong shook his head and smiled. "You are quite straightforward, unlike some people who appear to be a gentleman on the surface, but secretly are despicable villains." Meng Yipping shouted, "I dare you to say that again. It will be the same no matter how many times I say it." Qin Feiyong gave him a disdainful look, then looked at the middle-aged woman and said, "I am sorry, although I am weak, I am very stubborn. If you want me to be someone else's slave, I will not do it. Then I will have to kill you." As soon as the middle-aged woman finished speaking, a wave of pressure shrouded Qin Feiyong. "It's useless. Although you are a little stronger than the old master, you can't imprison me with your pressure." Qin Feiyong grinned and instantly disappeared without a trace. The middle-aged woman raised her eyebrows, looked up at the 3 leaders, and said, "The 3 of you come down." Whoosh! The 3 of them respectfully landed in front of her. The middle-aged woman said, "The 3 of you stay here. If he escapes, I will kill you." Yes. The 3 of them bowed in response. The middle-aged woman looked at Meng Yipping and said, "You should also quickly clean up the mess." "Okay." Meng Yipping nodded. Swoosh. After the middle-aged woman finished speaking, she rose into the air and disappeared into a large hall not far away. Inside the ancient castle. Fatso frowned. The way this couple interacts is really strange. Qin Feiyong nodded, also a little puzzled. Lu Hong suddenly opened her eyes and said, "Have you ever thought that maybe we have misunderstood and they are actually not husband and wife?" "That's impossible. If they are not husband and wife, why would Meng Yipping call her madam? Moreover, if they are really not husband and wife, when boss said that Meng Yipping is not worthy of her, she should have denied it." "But she didn't deny it," Fatso said. Lu Hong said, "Then is it possible that she wants to use Meng Yipping to hide her identity?" Hide her identity? Qin Feiyong and Fatso looked at each other and frowned slightly. In addition, the title madam is not an exclusive title between husband and wife. It can also be a form of respect. For example, when manager Li Ji in Yen City called Luo Chenxue, didn't he also call her madam? Lu Hong said again. "That's right, Why didn't I think of that? Her words woke them up from their dreams. Qin Feiyang and Fatso suddenly felt that the clouds and fog had dispersed, and they suddenly saw the light. When Meng Tong was held hostage by us, that woman did not show up and acted indifferent. Meng Yiping looked at her with respect. During the 2 months when we wreaked havoc in the city lord's mansion, she did not appear once. The most important thing is that she is still hiding her strength. Based on the above traces, Fat Lord can basically conclude that they are not husband and wife. But what is this woman hiding? Fatso frowned, full of confusion. No matter what she is hiding, it has nothing to do with us. Focus on your cultivation and wait for an opportunity. If there's no other way, we'll go into seclusion here and break through to the War Emperor before we go out. Qin Feiyang said. What kind of joke is this? You can break through to the War Emperor in 5 years? I'm afraid that before you break through to the War Emperor, you will have already died from the poison. The pangolin said. Idiot. Fatso and Wolf King rolled their eyes at it. The pangolin said, Did I say something wrong? I'm too lazy to talk nonsense with you. Wolf King glanced at it disdainfully, then lay down at the side, swallowed 2 battle chi pills, and began to sleep. Fatso also sat cross-legged on the ground and entered a state of cultivation. Qin Feiyang walked to the front of the iron box and continued to copy the 5th stroke. The 5th stroke was just a little bit away. He estimated that he would be able to copy it successfully in less than 10 days. The pangolin looked at Wolf King and Fatso, then looked at Qin Feiyang and said angrily, I say, can you guys stop keeping me in suspense? We have all opened the 3rd level of the Gate of Potential, and we also have the highest grade battle chi pill. In at most 2 years, we will all be able to step into the War Emperor. Lu Hong said with a smile, then closed his eyes and began to cultivate. Gate of Potential. The pangolin was dumbstruck. Last time in the Butterfly Valley, when the ugly old woman asked Qin Feiyang to take off his clothes, the pangolin was still unconscious. So, only now did it know that Qin Feiyang and the others had actually opened the legendary Gate of Potential. Its eyes immediately flickered. Opening the Gate of Potential was not an ordinary difficulty. However, Qin Feiyang, Fatso, Ruffian Wolf, and Lu Hong had all broken through the shackles and even opened the 3rd level. This was definitely not a coincidence. Could it be that this Qin Feiyang had some treasure on him that could open the Gate of Potential? When it thought of this, it became extremely excited. It eagerly ran to Qin Feiyang's side and said with a flattering smile, Brother Qin, are you free? How about we discuss it? Brother Qin. Qin Feiyang's face twitched, goosebumps appeared all over his body, and he angrily said, I'm not free, don't disturb me. The pangolin resentfully retreated to the side. But he was unwilling. He then ran to look for Wolf King, but Wolf King ignored him, so he went to look for Fatso. Seeing that Fatso also ignored him, he went to look for Lu Hong. Lu Hong was kind enough to say that when it broke through to the 9-star Battle King, it would look for Qin Feiyang to ask for a few potential pills. It was immediately overjoyed and began to cultivate in seclusion. Chapter 374. In the blink of an eye, 8 days had passed. Qin Feiyang had finally finished the 5th stroke, and his cultivation had broken through to the 6-star Battle King realm. However, Wolf King had already stepped into the 6-star Battle King realm a few days ago. This astonishing speed made Qin Feiyang unable to help but believe that this fellow might really be a god wolf that had been taught by an expert. As for Fatso, he was still stuck at the 3-star Battle King realm, and it would take him a few more days to break through. The 3 leaders had been guarding outside, and they were unable to leave. Qin Feiyang was not in a hurry, and he continued to copy the 6th stroke. All this while, trouble had been knocking on his door, and he had not been able to cultivate properly. Therefore, he might as well take advantage of this rare opportunity to improve his strength. In a certain hall, a middle-aged woman was sitting on a praying mat with her eyes closed. Dong dong. Someone knocked on the door. Come in. The middle-aged woman opened her eyes. The door was pushed open, and Meng Yiping walked in. He bowed and said, Greetings, madam. The middle-aged woman asked, How is your daughter? Meng Yiping said, Thank you for your concern, madam. Tonger is fine now. What about Qin Feiyang? The middle-aged woman asked. He hasn't shown up yet, so he must be determined to drag this out with us. At the mention of Qin Feiyang, Meng Yiping's face was filled with hatred. The middle-aged woman frowned and asked, "Are you blaming me for not killing the 3 leaders to avenge the old master?" "I wouldn't dare." Meng Yiping hurriedly shook his head. The middle-aged woman looked at him deeply, then waved her hand and said, "You may leave. Inform me immediately if anything happens. This subordinate will take his leave." Meng Yiping cupped his hands, then turned around and left. "There's one more thing you have to pay attention to. Qin Feiyong's mind is not simple. Don't let him find out about our relationship," the middle-aged woman warned. "Understood." Meng Yiping nodded and quickly left the room, closing the door behind him. The middle-aged woman looked at the tightly shut door, and after a moment of daze, she quickly formed a seal with her hands, and an enslavement seal appeared. Next, the enslavement seal rose into the air and floated in front of her. "Everything I once had was destroyed because of you. From now on, I will use you to unify this continent and become the only emperor in this world." She looked at the enslavement seal with an indescribable light in her eyes. In the capital city of the spiritual state, in the resting room of the Precious Treasure Pavilion, a woman in colorful clothes sat alone beside the tea table, muttering to herself. A moment later, Yin Yuanming hurriedly walked into the lounge and asked, "Pavilion Master, why did you call me here in such a hurry?" The multicolor-clothed woman asked, "Have you contacted Qin Feiyong?" Yin Yuanming shook his head. "It's been so long, why is there still no news? Is he dead?" The multicolor-clothed woman frowned. "Indeed, some people are saying that he might already be dead. But I don't believe that kid is dead. He must be fooling around somewhere." Yin Yuanming pursed his lips. "Then, do you think we should continue to ban the Lu clan? During this period of time, old monster Lu has been bothering me every day. If it weren't for the manor head, I wouldn't have been able to hold on any longer." The multicolor-clothed woman was somewhat annoyed. Yin Yuanming pondered for a moment and said, "Let's lift it for the time being. We'll discuss it again when Qin Feiyong returns." The multicolor-clothed woman said, "All right, give the order later to lift the ban on the Lu clan." "All right." Yin Yuanming nodded and left with a bow. Holy Palace. Lu Yun's residence. Lu Yun sat in the pavilion with Yan Nanshan standing beside him. Lu Yun asked, "Has Qin Feiyong contacted you?" "No. I've sent him a message every few days, but it's like a stone sinking into the sea. There's no response." Yan Nanshan's face was filled with worry. "Is he really dead?" Lu Yun frowned. Yan Nanshan said, "That's impossible. With his abilities, no one can kill him." "That might not be the case. The Lu clan and the Dong clan both want to get rid of him. I'm just worried that the old monsters of these 2 clans will assassinate him without anyone noticing," Lu Yun said. Yan Nanshan's heart sank. It might really be possible. Because, if someone else had sent a message to Qin Feiyong, it would have been normal for Qin Feiyong to not respond. However, with his relationship with Qin Feiyong, no matter how busy Qin Feiyong was, he would still take the time to respond and inform him that he was safe. Lu Yun said, "Yan Nanshan, why don't you go outside the city and see if there are any clues? You can also go to the Lu clan and the Dong clan to sound them out." "All right." Yan Nanshan nodded and transformed into a stream of light that tore through the sky. At the same time, Holy Palace, on a certain mountain peak, a beautiful figure stood in the wind. Her white clothes fluttered as her black hair danced in the wind. She was like a fairy from the 9 heavens who wanted to ride the wind. "Feiyong, where did you go?" She gazed at the distant horizon, her clear eyes filled with worry that could not be dispelled. She was none other than Ren Wushuang. Some people were worried about Qin Feiyong's disappearance, while others were happy. People like Xiao Hong and Dong Cheng, who had a grudge against Qin Feiyong, naturally hoped that Qin Feiyong would really die outside and never return. The Forgotten Land. Time passed day by day. Qin Feiyong was already halfway through the 6th stroke. During this period, Fatso had also broken through to become a 4-star battle monarch and was crazily trying to become a 5-star battle monarch. Seeing that everyone was improving while it remained the same, the pangolin yearned for the potential pill even more. This king must work hard. With them as my goal, no, this king must surpass them. Sooner or later, this king will ride on the back of a ruffian wolf. It secretly swore. "Qin Feiyong, Master wants to talk to you. If you hear him, come out immediately." A few days later, the burly man's voice sounded in the ancient castle. However, Qin Feiyong ignored him. "Tell him that there's no point in wasting time like this. The sooner he surrenders to me, the sooner he can live a carefree life." After the burly man returned to report to the middle-aged woman, the middle-aged woman snorted coldly. However, when the burly man conveyed the message to Qin Feiyong still ignored him. Time flew by. On this day, the 6th stroke was completed. Qin Feiyong's cultivation once again welcomed a breakthrough. 7-star Battle Monarch. He finally retracted his arm and closed the 6-word divine formula. Because the battle chi pills were almost exhausted, it was time to start refining pills. And this time, it took him a total of 50 days to complete the 6th stroke. Carefully calculating, it had been more than 4 months since he entered the Forgotten Land. Yan Nanshan and Ren Wushuang must be worried. Qin Feiyong remembered the time very clearly. Because he had to take a drop of transparent liquid every other month. Including the drop he took in the Butterfly Valley, he had taken 4 drops now. Phew! He let out a long breath and turned to look at Wolf King. This bastard had already stepped into the 7-star Battle Monarch half a month ago. He estimated that when he refined the pills, he would break through again. Freak! Qin Feiyong muttered, threw away all distracting thoughts, and began to refine the battle chi pills. This time, he refined for more than 20 days in a row. He didn't stop until his mental strength was exhausted. In total, he refined more than 200,000 pills. On average, he could refine 1 pill every 10 breaths. Even in the entire holy sanctum, no one would dare to compare with him at this speed. Suddenly, his heart was caught off guard, and another sharp pain came. Coupled with the exhaustion of his mental strength, he directly somersaulted and fell to the ground with a bang. What's wrong? Fatso, Lu Hong, Wolf King, and the pangolin were all awakened. Qin Feiyong hurriedly took out a jade bottle and drank a drop of transparent liquid. Only then did the sharp pain disappear. This was the 5th drop, which meant that they had been in the Forgotten Land for 5 months. Phew! Qin Feiyong took a deep breath, got up, and said with a smile, "It's just the black poison acting up. It's nothing serious. There's no need to cultivate anymore." Wolf King chuckled and suddenly jumped up. And just as he got up, his aura suddenly soared and instantly rushed to the 8-star Battle Monarch. Sure enough, he broke through. Qin Feiyong's face twitched. The pangolin roared, "Damn, how can I live like this? In just 5 months." Wolf King soared from the 4-star Battle Monarch to the 8-star Battle Monarch. Qin Feiyong also raised his cultivation to the 7-star Battle Monarch. If he didn't refine pills and didn't have those troublesome matters, he would probably be an 8-star Battle Monarch by now. And Fatso, boom! When it looked at Fatso's cultivation had also broken through. He was a 5-star Battle Monarch. The pangolin was about to cry. When they first met, Fatso was only a 2-star Battle Monarch. Now, not only had he caught up with it, he had even surpassed it. A bunch of monsters. At this speed, they wouldn't need 5 years to break through to the Battle Emperor realm. I have to work hard. I have to open the door of potential. It roared and continued to cultivate. Qin Feiyong looked at it and couldn't help but find it funny. He then looked at Fatso and Wolf King and nodded in satisfaction. After this seclusion, their overall strength had increased several times. True enough. As long as they cultivated in seclusion, their cultivation speed would soar like a rocket. He believed that it wouldn't take long for a battle emperor to be born in this small team. Suddenly, Qin Feiyong seemed to have thought of something. He glanced at the ancient castle and asked, "Where is the cluster of pill fire and pill furnace that I collected?" "They're with me." Lu Hong opened her eyes and took out a palm-sized iron box and a pill furnace from her Chenkuan bag. It was looted from the old patriarch's alchemy room. At that time, Qin Feiyong directly kept it in the ancient castle. Lu Hong was afraid that the pangolin would have other ideas, so she kept it. "You're too considerate." Qin Feiyong smiled. He grabbed the iron box with one hand and the pill furnace with the other, then turned around and walked to the altar. After placing the pill furnace beside the bronze pill furnace, he opened the iron box. A wave of heat immediately surged out from the iron box. The old patriarch was dead, so the pill fire was an ownerless item. Without an owner, the pill fire would automatically recover and release its original high temperature. However, The grade of this cluster of pill fire wasn't high. The high temperature was no longer a threat to Qin Feiyang and the others. However, the iron box that contained the pill fire surprised Qin Feiyang. Although the temperature of the pill fire wasn't high, it was still easy to melt iron. However, it had been more than 2 months since the old patriarch's death. In other words, the pill fire had recovered for more than 2 months. However, the outside of the iron box couldn't feel the slightest bit of heat. There was even a cold feeling. This iron box shouldn't be an ordinary item either. Qin Feiyang grabbed the iron box and looked at it curiously. But he didn't notice. The nether devil flame floating above the bronze pill furnace was also undergoing a change. Chapter 375. Boss, look at your head. Fatso was the first to discover the change of the netherworld demonic flame. He heard about it. Wolf King and Lu Hong looked up. What's going on? The Wolf King's eyes widened. Qin Feiyang looked at them suspiciously. What's the fuss? However, when he looked up and saw the change of the netherworld demonic flame, his pupils shrank slightly. What's going on? He didn't revive the netherworld demonic flame. Whoosh! Suddenly, wisps of black flame shot toward Qin Feiyang. Rebellion! Qin Feiyang was stunned. His eyes suddenly turned cold. With a thought, the black flame disappeared into thin air. The revived netherworld demonic flame returned to normal. Wolf King came up and asked curiously, Little Qin Zi, what's going on? I don't know. Qin Feiyang shook his head. He temporarily put down the iron box and stretched out his arm. The netherworld demonic flame fell into his palm. After carefully sensing for a moment, there was no change in the netherworld demonic flame. But why did it suddenly change? There must be a reason. After pondering for a moment, he simply didn't control the netherworld demonic flame. Let's see what the netherworld demonic flame wanted to do. The netherworld demonic flame that lost control, like a runaway wild horse, immediately rushed toward Qin Feiyang's left hand. Qin Feiyang raised his eyebrows. Was it really going to rebel? However, the result was far beyond his expectations. The target of the netherworld demonic flame was not him at all. It was the cluster of alchemy fire in his left hand. The netherworld demonic flame, like a hungry wolf, rushed toward the alchemy fire. Patches of dark demonic flame spurted out and wrapped around the alchemy fire. Then, an amazing scene appeared. The netherworld demonic flame was actually swallowing the alchemy fire. That's right. It was swallowing. The alchemy fire wrapped in the demonic flame disappeared at a speed visible to the naked eye. On the other hand, the netherworld demonic flame was burning more and more vigorously. Qin Feiyang and the others looked at each other. After all this time, it turned out that this nether devil flame wanted to devour that cluster of pill fire? But wasn't this too inconceivable? Wolf King asked in surprise, Little Qin Zi, have you ever seen something like this in the capital? I can swear that I didn't. Qin Feiyang shook his head. Damn, you really are from the imperial capital. The pangolin had originally planned to enter seclusion in peace, but when it heard these words, it suddenly opened its eyes and looked at Qin Feiyang, its eyes shining. But at this moment, no one paid any attention to it. They were all looking at the netherworld demonic flame. A dozen breaths later, that cluster of flames completely disappeared. The revived nether devil flame finally calmed down. But at the same time, some information appeared in Qin Feiyang's mind out of nowhere. This was information about the netherworld devil flame. Qin Feiyang closed his eyes and carefully read the information. A moment later, he abruptly opened his eyes. 2 rays of bright light burst out of his eyes. What is it? Fatso and the others looked at him in surprise. Qin Feiyang said, The netherworld devil flame is a first-grade pill fire. Wolf King said, Is there something wrong with you? It's just a second-grade pill fire. Why are you so happy? Qin Feiyang said with a smile, If it was just an ordinary second-grade pill fire, of course I wouldn't be so happy. What do you mean? Wolf King was surprised. Although the netherworld devil flame is only a second-grade pill fire, it has an amazing ability. It can increase its grade by devouring other pill fires. Qin Feiyang said. The Wolf King was dumbfounded when he heard this. The grade of pill fire could be increased? Was this a joke? But it seemed that little Qin Zi never joked easily. Fatso said in surprise, "How many pill fires does it need to devour? Can it devour all pill fires?" Of course not. The Netherworld Devil Flame can only devour pill fires of the same grade. Now, the Netherworld Devil Flame is a second-grade pill fire, so it can only devour second-grade pill fires, and it needs to devour 3 second-grade pill fires to reach the third grade. Similarly, when the Netherworld Devil Flame reaches the third grade, it needs to devour 3 third-grade pill fires to reach the fourth grade. In short, that's it and so on. Qin Feiyang said. Damn, it's so awesome? Fatso was dumbfounded and said, if it devours a first-grade pill fire now, will there be any effect? There will be an effect, but the effect is very small and almost negligible. Only by devouring pill fires of the same grade can the effect be fully exerted. Qin Feiyang said. Awesome. Fatso looked at the Netherworld Devil Flame with shock in his eyes. Lu Hong frowned and said, Don't blame me for dampening your enthusiasm. It's too early to be happy. Why? Wolf King didn't understand. Lu Hong said, You all know how rare pill fires are. It's unrealistic to find 3 second-grade pill fires for it to devour. Qin Feiyang and the others were stunned, and then they smiled bitterly. Lu Hong was right. Although the Netherworld Devil Flame could be upgraded, there were too few pill fires. To upgrade it by 1 grade was harder than ascending to the sky. Fatso asked, What grade was the pill fire that it devoured just now? Qin Feiyang said, 2nd grade. That is to say, as long as it devours 2 second-grade pill fires, it can upgrade the Netherworld Devil Flame to the 3rd grade. Fat Lord remembered that the 3 chiefs said that their tribes have pill fires, right? Let's just rob them. Maybe the pill fires in their tribes are 2nd-grade pill fires. Fatso said. Qin Feiyang's eyes lit up. Wolf King urged, There's no time to lose. Let's start immediately. Start my ass. Qin Feiyang's face darkened, and he gave it a slap on the head. Of course he knew. As long as the Netherworld Devil Flame was upgraded to the 3rd grade, it would be able to refine pills with 2 pill veins. But now, even going out was a problem, let alone going to the 3 major tribes. Fatso suddenly asked, Boss, can the Netherworld Devil Flame devour pill fires that are of a higher grade than itself? It can't. Qin Feiyang shook his head. Lu Hong asked, Is the Netherworld Devil Flame a 2nd-grade pill fire when it's born? Yes. Qin Feiyang nodded. Lu Hong pursed her lips and smiled. It seems that Xuan still doesn't know about this ability of the Netherworld Devil Flame. Otherwise he would have killed you. He really doesn't know. Because the Netherworld Devil Flame is very special. It needs to devour a pill fire before it can be considered a true master. Only then will the information about the Netherworld Devil Flame appear in the mind. Let's not talk about it. Isn't that woman looking for me? I'll go out and talk to her. Qin Feiyang said. Lu Hong said, Then you have to be careful. Qin Feiyang nodded, grabbed the iron box, looked at it curiously, and put it into his Chengkuan bag. Swish. The next moment, he appeared outside. You still came out. And here I was wondering how capable you were. It turns out that you're just Uzo. The 3 chiefs' eyes were cold. Qin Feiyang laughed, I'm not that capable, but at least I didn't become someone's watchdog. Who are you talking about? Old Snake Skin's eyes were cold. Qin Feiyang said lightly, I'm talking about whoever is in front of me. Bastard. Otherwise, because of your selfishness, we wouldn't be in this situation today. Little bastard, if it weren't for the master's order, I would kill you now. The 3 of them said coldly. I'm selfish? Ridiculous. Do you really think I don't know what you're thinking? If that woman didn't appear, after the Meng family was eliminated, the next one to die would be me. Am I right? Qin Feiyang's eyes were full of mockery. The 3 chiefs' eyes were spitting fire. They couldn't wait to tear Qin Feiyang into pieces. Qin Feiyang said, Don't stare at me like that. I'm not interested in you, and you're not qualified to talk to me now. Take me to see your master. Just you wait. You'll die miserably sooner or later. The 3 of them smiled coldly, surrounding Qin Feiyang in the middle, and walked toward a hall. At the entrance of the hall, there were 10 guards. When they saw Qin Feiyang coming, their eyes were full of coldness. Old Snake Skin gloated. See, the Meng family can't wait to tear you into pieces. Qin Feiyang said lightly, So what, It's better than being someone's watchdog. You're courting death. Old man Snakeskin abruptly turned his head, staring at Qin Feiyong. Why don't you try touching me? Qin Feiyong wasn't afraid at all, looking at him provocatively. Humph. Old Snakeskin snorted, turned around and continued walking toward the hall. A short while later, the four of them arrived at the hall. Old Snakeskin bowed and said, Master, we've brought Qin Feiyong. Bring him up. The middle-aged woman's voice came from a room on the second floor. The three of them brought Qin Feiyong into the hall, went upstairs, and stopped in front of a door. In the meantime, Qin Feiyong wanted to find a chance to slip away, but the three of them were watching him carefully, not giving him the slightest chance. Old Snakeskin said respectfully, Master, he's here. The middle-aged woman said, Come in. Old Snakeskin pushed open the door, and a lounge of about 10 feet suddenly entered Qin Feiyong's sight. The middle-aged woman was sitting at the tea table, sipping tea while looking at Qin Feiyong. Go in. The burly man pushed Qin Feiyong hard. Qin Feiyong raised his eyebrows, turned to look at the three leaders, and a cold light flashed in the depths of his eyes. Immediately, he walked into the lounge and sat opposite the middle-aged woman casually. He didn't hold back. He directly picked up the teapot, grabbed a teacup, poured a cup of tea, tasted it, and nodded with a smile. The taste is not bad. Madam really knows how to enjoy. How dare you? Don't be rude in front of Madam. The three leaders shouted angrily and rushed toward Qin Feiyong aggressively. You guys step back. But at this moment, the middle-aged woman said indifferently. The three of them froze. Old Snakeskin said, Madam, he's so rude, you should kill him. The middle-aged woman frowned and said, I'll only say it twice, step back. Yes. The three of them responded respectfully, and then glanced at Qin Feiyong with resentment, bowed, and left the lounge. And closed the door tightly. They wanted to take the opportunity to get rid of Qin Feiyong, but they didn't expect that they would be reprimanded by the middle-aged woman in the end. A little battle king was more important than the three of them? On what basis? They were not convinced. Chapter 376. In the lounge. There was dead silence. The middle-aged woman looked at Qin Feiyong with a strange light in her eyes. Breaking through to the 7-star battle king so quickly? Qin Feiyong did not say anything and continued to drink his tea. A moment later, the middle-aged woman finally broke the silence and said with a faint smile, You are very bold. Aren't you afraid that I will poison your tea? Qin Feiyong said indifferently, I'm not even afraid of the black demon poison, let alone other poisons. Black demon poison? The middle-aged woman was stunned and asked, What kind of poison is that? Qin Feiyong did not answer. While drinking his tea, he smiled and said, Madam, if you have something to say, just say it. The middle-aged woman pursed her lips and smiled, saying, Become my subordinate, and I will guarantee you a lifetime of glory. Qin Feiyong was stunned. A mere 4-star battle emperor dared to say such words? He looked at the middle-aged woman and said, Just you? The middle-aged woman asked back, Are you looking down on me? Qin Feiyong said, I don't deny it, but I'm very puzzled. Why do you want me to be your subordinate? Just because I know how to refine pills? No. What I'm interested in is your brain and your talent. In just a few months, you broke through to the 7-star battle king. Your talent is unparalleled in the entire world. The middle-aged woman said, Thank you for your compliment. Qin Feiyong smiled, nodded, and said, Sure, teach me the slave seal, and I will be your subordinate. The middle-aged woman's eyes flashed and she shook her head. You should know that the battle art cannot be taught to others. Then there's no other way. We can only announce the end of the negotiation. Qin Feiyong shrugged his shoulders. The middle-aged woman said, Although I can't give you the slave seal, I can give you a perfect battle art. Perfect battle art. Qin Feiyong's eyes trembled, and he immediately became spirited. No. The sky-destroying finger that this person used was only an intermediate battle art. How could there be a perfect battle art? Moreover, if she really had a perfect battle art, why didn't she pass it on to the Meng family? Qin Feiyong calmed down and thought for a moment. The corner of his mouth pursed into a sneer. Do you think I'm easy to fool? Seeing is believing. Hearing is false. I'll let you experience it. The middle-aged woman flipped her hand and a jade slip appeared out of thin air. Then, she tossed it to Qin Feiyong. Qin Feiyong held it in his hand and looked at the middle-aged woman in surprise. Then, he sank his consciousness into the jade slip. A message immediately flowed into his mind. Perfect battle art, void end tactics. There were a total of 4 moves. The first style, landslide. The second style, earth splitting. The third style, splitting sky. The fourth move, ruins of end. The power of the first move was equivalent to an inferior battle technique. And so on. The power of the fourth move was equivalent to a perfect battle art. Qin Feiyong was stunned. It was actually a perfect battle art. The middle-aged woman smiled faintly. Do you believe me now? Swoosh. Qin Feiyong took a deep breath of air and mocked. Aren't you afraid that I'll run away with the void end tactics if you give it to me so easily? The middle-aged woman smiled. You're a smart man and I believe that you won't do that. This also represents my sincerity. I like to deal with people who are sincere. However, it's definitely impossible for me to follow you. It's even more impossible for me to become your slave. However, we can work together. Qin Feiyong smiled as well. Work together? The middle-aged woman frowned. I only work with people of value. Although you're talented, you're still too weak. Value. Qin Feiyong's eyes flickered. If I'm wrong, you and Meng Yiping aren't husband and wife. The middle-aged woman's pupils constricted as she asked calmly. How do you know? The way you interact with Meng Yiping is truly too strange. Therefore, I started discussing with my old buddies. The final conclusion was that the Meng family is merely a pawn in your hands. Qin Feiyong said. The middle-aged woman was stunned. There was a trace of disbelief in her eyes. Looking at your expression, our conclusion should be correct. It's just that I don't understand. What exactly are you hiding? Qin Feiyong was suspicious. Haha, the middle-aged woman laughed. I was afraid that you would see through it. I even specially told Meng Yiping to be more careful in the future. But I didn't expect that you've already seen through it. Your brain is indeed not simple. The middle-aged woman was full of praise. In the end, she shook her head and said, but it's still not enough to cooperate with meme. Then what do you think is enough? Also, don't just talk about my value. I also want to see your value. If your value is not as high as mine, I won't bother to cooperate with you. Qin Feiyong was furious. He turned hostile on the spot. His talent and brain, although not invincible in the world, were absolutely rare among the younger generation. But this person actually said that it was not enough? Even a clay bodhisattva had anger, let alone a person of flesh and blood. Hearing these words, the middle-aged woman could not help but be stunned. He actually dared to doubt her value? This brat really didn't know how much he was worth. She asked, how many companions do you have? Qin Feiyong said 4. Including the pangolin beast. The middle-aged woman said, I can give each of you a perfect battle art. This is my value. Qin Feiyong's body stiffened. 1 for each of them? Could it be that in the Forgotten Land, perfect battle arts were so common that the streets were filled with them? Who exactly was this person? With so many perfect battle arts, her identity was definitely not simple. The middle-aged woman said again, I can even give you auxiliary perfect battle arts. Auxiliary battle arts. Qin Feiyong suddenly stood up. His eyes were filled with deep disbelief. Perfect auxiliary battle arts, even in the imperial capital, were unique. As far as he knew, only the current emperor had perfect auxiliary battle arts. Calm down. You must stay calm. Qin Feiyong returned to his seat and looked down at the jade slip in his hand. His eyes flickered. If this person really had perfect auxiliary battle arts, then her background must be very shocking. If he cooperated with her, it was undoubtedly asking a tiger for its skin. Because he had no idea what this woman's motive was. However, the temptation of a perfect battle art was simply too great. There was no way to resist it. Taking a few deep breaths, Qin Feiyong raised his head and asked, why don't you give the battle arts to the Meng family? The middle-aged woman said, very simple, their value is not enough. Giving it to them is purely a waste. This was a very reasonable explanation. However, Qin Feiyong read the middle-aged woman's ambition from this. This woman must be planning a big conspiracy? Qin Feiyong said, Wait a moment, I have to discuss with a few of my companions. Lend me this jade slip first. Go ahead. The middle-aged woman smiled. She was not afraid of Qin Feiyong running away, because she believed that no one could resist such a temptation. Inside the castle. You all heard what she said. What do you think? Qin Feiyong glanced at Fatso and the others. Fat Lord, take a look at the jade slip first. Fatso anxiously grabbed the jade slip and sank his mind into it. Suddenly, he revealed a face of shock. Lu Hong and Wolf King also looked at it one after another, their eyes filled with disbelief. Everyone was silent for a moment. Fatso said, Boss, cooperate with her. Qin Feiyong said worriedly, There's no problem with cooperating, but I'm afraid of getting into trouble. What are you afraid of? Have you forgotten? We are just passers-by in the Forgotten Land. As long as we get the perfect battle arts, no matter what scheme she has, it has nothing to do with us. Moreover, we can also use her power to make the three leaders obediently hand over the pill fire. Fatso laughed sinisterly. Qin Feiyong looked at Lu Hong and Wolf King and asked, What about you guys? Wolf King said, Of course we'll cooperate. I agree too. Lu Hong nodded. The pangolin hurriedly said, Hey, can you ask for my opinion? Are you looking for a sense of presence? Wolf King and Fatso looked at him unkindly. The pangolin said angrily, Nonsense, I'm ignored by you guys every day. Of course I have to find a sense of presence. Qin Feiyong smiled and said, Then what do you think? Cooperate, we must cooperate. The pangolin chuckled. That's all nonsense. Wolf King glanced at him in disdain. All right, then we'll cooperate. When we get the battle arts, we'll leave immediately. Qin Feiyong's eyes flashed. He took out a healing pill with 2 patterns, held it in his hand, and appeared in the lounge. The middle-aged woman asked, How did the discussion go? Let's see what this is first. Qin Feiyong stretched out his arm and opened his palm. The healing pill appeared in front of the middle-aged woman's eyes. What? The middle-aged woman's eyes widened. She grabbed the healing pill and looked it up and down, left and right. A pill with 2 patterns. Her eyes were filled with bewilderment as she raised her head to look at Qin Feiyong and asked, You refined this? Who else? Qin Feiyong shrugged. Good. Very good. You're qualified to cooperate with me. The middle-aged woman was overjoyed. She put down the healing pill and said, Call your companions out. Qin Feiyong's heart skipped a beat and he immediately became vigilant. Don't worry. I won't harm them. I just want to see what their battle souls are. Then I'll know what battle arts are most suitable for them. The middle-aged woman smiled. Really? Qin Feiyong frowned. The middle-aged woman shook her head. You're really suspicious. I can swear. Qin Feiyong looked at her suspiciously. He flicked his sleeves and Fatso, Lu Hong, Wolf King and the pangolin appeared out of thin air. The moment they appeared, they ran behind Qin Feiyong. This way, if the middle-aged woman wanted to harm them, they could hide in the castle immediately. The middle-aged woman's face twitched. Was she a demon? Did she have to be so vigilant? No wonder these little guys dared to cause trouble in White Fox City. With their temperaments, it would be difficult to catch them. She smiled faintly. Activate your battle souls. Wolf King said here. If the main hall collapses later, don't blame us. Let's go outside then. The middle-aged woman waved her hand and swept the 3 people and 2 beasts out of the window, landing in a garden outside. Wolf King activated his battle soul immediately. Chapter 377. What battle soul is this? The middle-aged woman raised her head and looked at the golden beast with a trace of doubt in her eyes. But she was more shocked. Because the golden beast shadow gave her a very strong sense of oppression. Her eyes flashed as she lowered her head to look at Wolf King. Have you cultivated any battle arts? Wolf King was about to say no. But the middle-aged woman said again, Tell me the truth, or I don't know how to arrange it. Wolf King thought for a while and said truthfully, I have cultivated a superior slaughter battle art. The middle-aged woman nodded and said, I see, next. Fat Lord first. Fatso took a step forward and laughed. Boss, haven't you always wanted to know Fat Lord's battle soul? Roar. Before he finished speaking, his whole body emitted a black light. Accompanied by a loud dragon roar, a huge monster appeared out of nowhere. It was a dragon. It was hundreds of meters long and its body was covered with palm-sized scales. Its entire body was as black as ink, and the dragon's aura shook in all directions. Black Dragon. Qin Feiyang's eyes trembled. This damn fatso had indeed activated his dragon soul. And it was an extremely rare black dragon soul. He could not help but look at Lu Hong. What battle soul did this little girl activate? Seeing Qin Feiyang looking at her, Lu Hong said with disappointment, I haven't broken through to the 1-star Battle King level, so I can't summon my battle soul. Qin Feiyang frowned. The middle-aged woman was stunned and looked at Lu Hong. You haven't broken through to the Battle King level. How can you have a battle soul? Madam, you don't know. She had already broken through to the Battle King level, but she was harmed by a villain and took the spiritual disaster pill, causing her cultivation to be crippled. Qin Feiyang sighed. I see. But you don't have to worry. Even if her cultivation is crippled, her battle soul is still there. Once her cultivation recovers, she will naturally be able to summon it. The middle-aged woman comforted her and asked, What battle soul did you activate? White Dragon. Lu Hong said. Another dragon soul? The middle-aged woman was dumbfounded. Isn't this too outrageous? 2 dragon souls actually appeared at once? Qin Feiyang was also shocked. Fatso was a black dragon soul. Lu Hong was the white dragon soul. He had a purple gold dragon soul. In other words, there were 3 dragon souls in this small team. As long as he grew up, he wouldn't have to worry about not getting his revenge. However, Qin Feiyang knew that this was all thanks to the first-generation emperor statue. Otherwise, it would have been impossible for Fatso and Luo Yunyang to activate their dragon souls. He might be able to activate other dragon souls. After all, the power of the emperor's bloodline flowed in his body. However, it was impossible for him to activate the purple gold dragon soul. Therefore, he was very grateful to the first emperor. Qin Feiyang, what fighting soul have you awakened? The middle-aged woman turned her eyes and looked at Qin Feiyang suspiciously. Fatso chuckled and said, Boss's fighting soul is awesome. Did I ask you? Qin Feiyang glared at him. The 9-leaf fire lotus and the crimson battle sword appeared one after another. However, he did not summon the purple gold dragon soul. He did not know if the Forgotten Land was within the great Qin Empire's borders. Hence, he did not dare to summon the purple gold dragon soul. Even so, the middle-aged woman was still shocked. He had 2 fighting souls. This young fellow was a genius. What about you? The middle-aged woman looked at the pangolin again. The pangolin suddenly became awkward. He smiled sheepishly and said, I don't have a fighting soul. Just give me any battle technique. You don't have one? Qin Feiyang and the others were stunned. Isn't this fellow usually arrogant? Why doesn't he have a fighting soul? The middle-aged woman was stunned as well. She shook her head and said, If you don't have a fighting soul, it means you're not worth nurturing. The pangolin was taken aback. He asked suspiciously, And? Are you an idiot? If you're not worth nurturing, I won't give you any battle techniques. Don't you know that? Wolf King looked at the pangolin disdainfully. A hint of schadenfreude could be seen in his eyes. You can't do this. The pangolin panicked and shouted, I have a fighting soul. You do? The others were puzzled. If the pangolin had a fighting soul, why did he say he did not have one? The middle-aged woman said, Hurry up then. Don't waste my time. The pangolin gritted its teeth. A khaki-colored light shot into the sky. Immediately, a fighting soul appeared above its head. The others looked up curiously. They were petrified. That fighting soul was actually a fong. It was more than 10 meters long. It was slender and flat. It was khaki-colored, and its tip was pointed upward. At first glance, it looked like the tip of a sword. The pangolin looked at Qin Feiyang and the others and said, I'm telling you, don't laugh. Haha, it would have been better if it did not say that. However, as soon as it said that, Wolf King could not help but burst out laughing. He had seen many fighting souls. However, this was his first time encountering such a strange fighting soul. No wonder the pangolin was so shy. No matter who it was, they would be too embarrassed to summon it. Qin Feiyong and the other two could not help but laugh as well. The fighting soul was a Fong. This was indeed a strange thing. The pangolin was furious and roared. I said, "Don't laugh. Shut up, shut up. Oh, don't be like this. It's just a strange fighting soul. We won't look down on you. After all, you're a strange one yourself. A strange couple. Hee, what a perfect match." Brother Wolf laughed strangely. "Ruffian Wolf, I'll fight you to the death." The pangolin was so angry that its eyes were red. The Fong fighting soul shook in the void and charged toward Wolf King. "I'll give it a try. What's so great about your strange fighting soul?" Wolf King's eyes flashed fiercely. His body instantly grew bigger. After breaking through to an 8-star battle monarch, his body grew another fist. He was more than 8 meters tall, like a giant. Boom! It swung its claws and slammed into the sharp fangs. The Fong fighting soul was instantly sent flying. Seeing this, Qin Feiyong and the middle-aged woman's pupils constricted. They were obviously shocked. However, they were not shocked by Wolf King's strength. Instead, they were shocked by the hardness of the Fong fighting soul. One had to know. Wolf King was an 8-star battle monarch now, and the pangolin was only a 4-star fighting soul. Wolf King's full-force attack was enough to shatter the pangolin's fighting soul with a single claw. But at this moment, the Fong fighting soul was actually intact. How is this possible? Suddenly, the Wolf King cried out in alarm. Everyone looked toward him and saw that the skin on his claw was lacerated and fresh blood was flowing. What? The Fong fighting soul actually broke through Wolf King's defense? At this moment, no one could laugh anymore. Although it looked a little ridiculous, its power was too powerful. Why did you hide such a powerful fighting soul? Because you're afraid of being laughed at? Qin Feiyong frowned. The pangolin smiled embarrassedly. All right, I'm convinced. Qin Feiyong was somewhat helpless. Wolf King suddenly jumped up and said angrily, "I'm not convinced. Little follower, fight me if you have the guts." No. The pangolin shook his head decisively and snorted coldly. "A gentleman has his reasons. I won't accept this kind of meaningless battle." "A gentleman again?" Qin Feiyong's face twitched, and he shouted, "Enough, all of you calm down. They were really funny." He turned to face the middle-aged woman and said, "Madam, when are you going to give us the battle art?" At the mention of the battle art, Wolf King and the pangolin's eyes lit up and they looked at the middle-aged woman expectantly. The middle-aged woman glanced at them, lowered her head and pondered for a moment. Suddenly, she waved her hand and 6 jade slips appeared out of thin air. So straightforward? Qin Feiyong and the others looked at each other. They thought that this woman would give them some conditions or give them some difficult problems. Unexpectedly, she took them out without hesitation. "This is for you." The middle-aged woman waved her hand and a jade slip flew towards Wolf King and floated above his body. Wolf King immediately immersed his mind into the jade slip and said in surprise, "Perfect auxiliary battle art." Next, the middle-aged woman waved her hand again and 2 jade slips flew towards Fatso and Lu Hong respectively. Perfect massacre battle art. The two of them were also wild with joy. Quick, quick, give it to me." The pangolin looked at Fatso and Wolf King, then looked at the middle-aged woman and urged impatiently. Whoosh! A jade slip flew in front of it. Perfect massacre battle art. I finally have a perfect battle art. The pangolin looked at it and immediately jumped up and down in excitement. At this moment, there were only 2 jade slips left in front of the middle-aged woman. Qin Feiyong looked at the 2 jade slips with longing in his eyes. Of these 2 jade slips, one is an auxiliary battle art, and the other is a sword art. Together with the ultimate steps in your hand, I will give you 3 battle arts. After the middle-aged woman finished speaking, she waved her hand and the 2 jade slips flew towards Qin Feiyong. What? 3 battle arts? Fatso and the others were stunned. Qin Feiyong was also stunned and couldn't come back to his senses for a long time. The middle-aged woman's lips curled into a playful smile and said, "What? Not satisfied?" Qin Feiyong quivered and nodded. "Satisfied, very satisfied." As he spoke, he grabbed the 2 jade slips. What a joke. These were perfect battle arts. There wasn't one in the entire spiritual state. If he hadn't met this woman, he probably wouldn't even have been able to find one, let alone 3. Fatso and the others were envious and felt that it was unfair. Why did Qin Feiyong get 3? But they could only get 1? But they didn't dare to voice out their dissatisfaction. If they angered this woman and took all of them back, the loss would outweigh the gain. These jade slips can only be used once. After you have comprehended them thoroughly, they will automatically shatter. But before you comprehend them, Qin Feiyong, you have to refine some battle chi pills for me first. They must have 2 elixir patterns. The middle-aged woman said. Qin Feiyong was about to check the jade slips, but when he heard this, he couldn't help but frown. Why? Can't you do it? The middle-aged woman raised her eyebrows. I can definitely do it. But I need a 3rd-grade elixir fire to refine elixirs with 2 elixir patterns. And my current elixir fire is only a 2nd-grade elixir fire. Qin Feiyong said. The middle-aged woman said, Then how did you refine the healing elixir you gave me? To be honest, I used to have a 3rd-grade elixir fire, but I met a strong enemy last time and it was accidentally stolen. Qin Feiyong said helplessly. He couldn't say that he wasn't from the Forgotten Land, right? So, he could only make up an excuse. What did you say? There is someone who can take the elixir fire from your hands. The middle-aged woman was surprised. Qin Feiyong smiled awkwardly. Horses also have times when they stumble. Then you hurry up and think of a way. After the middle-aged woman finished speaking, she flew toward the main hall. Suddenly, she stopped in the void again, looked down at Qin Feiyong, and asked, When you looted the warehouse, did you see the old master's iron box in the alchemy room? And Qin Feiyong was secretly shocked. The iron box was this woman's? He could never give it to her. Qin Feiyong shook his head and said, I haven't been to his alchemy room, so I didn't see it. Is that so? The middle-aged woman asked, with an inexplicable light flashing in the depths of her eyes. Qin Feiyong nodded and guessed, It may be buried under the ruins, or I'll let the pangolin beast drill into the ground to look for it. No need, anyway, it's not something precious, it's fine if it's gone. Chapter 378. As soon as the middle-aged woman left, Fatso and the others burst into laughter. They thought that the middle-aged woman would become their mortal enemy. However, they didn't expect that she would give them perfect battle arts. This time, it was really a blessing in disguise. They were really lucky. Wolf King leaned over to Qin Feiyong and said sneakily, Little Qin Zi, let's just run away now. No hurry. That woman shouldn't be harmful to us now. Let's wait until we get the alchemy fire of the 3 tribes. Qin Feiyong said, his eyes shining. Wolf King urged, Then let's hurry up. I can't be at ease if we stay here. You guys go to the castle to comprehend the battle arts first. I'll go talk to the 3 leaders. Qin Feiyong waved his hand and sent Fatso and the others to the castle. Then he walked towards the gate of the main hall. At the same time, his mind sank into the 2 jade slips. 2 pieces of information suddenly flowed into his mind. The sword art was called the Gueyuan sword technique. It could condense 99 sword chi. The power of each sword chi was comparable to a perfect battle art. But it consumed a lot of battle chi. According to Qin Feiyong's estimation, the red sword chi in his chi si could only condense 9 sword chi at most. The auxiliary skill was called phantom steps. It was also a perfect battle art. Every step would leave an illusion, which could confuse the opponent's eyes. In actual combat, it could play a key role. After a while, Qin Feiyong withdrew his mind and put away the 3 jade slips. Phantom steps. Void returning technique. Gueyuan sword technique. He didn't expect to get 3 perfect battle arts on this trip. It was really like the old saying, the world was unpredictable. Originally, he still hated that ugly old woman. But now, he also had a trace of gratitude in his heart. If it weren't for the ugly old woman who forced him to come to the Forgotten Land, how could he have encountered such an opportunity? Soon, Qin Feiyong came to the front gate of the main hall. The 3 leaders were standing respectfully outside the gate. When the guards looked at them, their eyes were full of gloating. Cough. Qin Feiyong glanced at them and coughed dryly. Immediately, everyone raised their heads and looked at him with cold eyes. Qin Feiyong smiled faintly and said, Now that we're on the same side, there's no need to be so hostile. Who's on your side? The three leaders and the group of guards glared at each other. Qin Feiyong shook his head and directly ignored him. He walked up to the three leaders and said with a smile, "I would like to ask for your help." Old Man Snakeskin said sternly, "If you have something to say, then say it." Qin Feiyong said, "Go back immediately and get all of your alchemy fires." How preposterous! How dare they have designs on our alchemy fire? Don't go too far. You want the alchemy fire? No way! The three of them angrily shouted. They were so angry that smoke was coming out of their heads. "Madam and I are partners, but you are Madam's slaves. Aren't you afraid that Madam will be angry if you talk to me like this?" Qin Feiyong joked. The old woman said, "Madam is reasonable. She will definitely not help you run amok." "I am not running amok. I want your alchemy fire to help Madam refine pills. If you don't give it to me, I can only go find Madam." Qin Feiyong laughed. "I don't believe it," the old woman said angrily. "From today onwards, Qin Feiyong is your young master. His words are equivalent to my words. Whoever dares to disobey will be killed without mercy." At this moment, the middle-aged woman's voice came from the second floor. "What? Young master?" The group of guards opened their eyes wide in anger and disbelief. Not long ago, Qin Feiyong was still Madam's enemy. However, in the blink of an eye, he had become their young master? The three leaders' faces became even uglier. They, the three-star war emperor, had been reduced to slaves. But this Qin Feiyong, who was just a battle king, was actually so valued by Madam? What was so good about this kid? Wasn't he just talented and knew how to refine pills? Besides these, what else did he have? "Master, I won't accept it," the old woman shouted. "If you don't accept it, then die." The middle-aged woman's cold voice came out. At this moment, the old woman's body cracked open and blood splattered everywhere, as if it was about to explode. "Ah!" The old woman screamed and hurriedly knelt on the ground and begged, "Master, please spare my life. I was wrong. I won't dare to object any more. Remember what you said today. If there is a next time, you will be killed without mercy," the middle-aged woman said with a bone-piercing murderous intent. After the words, the bloody wounds on the old woman's body stopped as well. "Thank you, Master, for not killing me." After the old woman thanked him, she quickly swallowed a healing pill. Then, she turned around and looked at Qin Feiyong. She knelt in front of Qin Feiyong and bowed. "Greetings, young master." "Greetings, young master." The burly man, Old Man Snakeskin, and the group of guards all knelt on the ground. "Young master?" Qin Feiyong was stunned. He was still not used to this identity that had suddenly appeared. Cough, cough. "Get up. Let bygones be bygones. Let bygones be bygones. Everyone will help and support each other in the future." Qin Feiyong smiled. "Yes." Everyone bowed in response, then got up and stood respectfully to the side. Qin Feiyong said, "Three chiefs, I'll have to trouble you to make a trip. Go and come back quickly." "Yes. We'll go get the alchemy fire right away." How would the three dare to have any objections? They hurriedly rushed into the sky and turned into a stream of light, breaking through the sky like lightning. Qin Feiyong looked calm on the surface, but he was quite nervous in his heart. If the alchemy fires of the three tribes were all first-grade alchemy fires, then it would be meaningless. Don't let me be happy for nothing. Amidst the endless anticipation, the three leaders finally returned an hour later. Whoosh! The three of them landed in front of Qin Feiyong and offered the alchemy fire with both hands, saying respectfully, "Please accept it, young master." There was a battle chi barrier around the three alchemy fires, so they couldn't feel the slightest heat. "Open the barrier." Qin Feiyong's eyes lit up. Yes. The three of them moved their minds, and the barrier instantly collapsed. A wave of scorching heat instantly surged out in all directions like a torrential flood. However, although it was hot, it was still bearable. Qin Feiyong waved his hand, sweeping up the three alchemy fires and entering the ancient castle. Fatso and the others were focused on comprehending the battle arts. Only Lu Hong wasn't, because she hadn't reached the Battle King level yet, so she couldn't comprehend it. "I didn't expect that woman to make you the young master. If you stay here, your future will be limitless." Lu Hong stood up and teased. "I think so too. Qin Feiyong smiled. Did you notice that that woman is exactly the same as you used to be? Lu Hong said. Did I? Qin Feiyong was stunned. Yes. Look, back in the county of Yen, perfect battle arts were priceless, but you casually threw out several of them. Now, that woman also casually waved several perfect battle arts. So I guess that her status is probably not lower than yours. Lu Hong said. Now that you mention it, I do feel a little similar to her. Qin Feiyong smiled, cut his wrist, and began to drip blood to recognize him as the master. With the experience of the Nether Devil Flame recognizing him as its master, he knew what to do. Soon, the recognition was successful. The information of the 3 alchemy fires also flowed into his mind. How is it? Lu Hong asked. There's only 1 second-grade alchemy fire. He waved his hand, and the second-grade alchemy fire flew toward the Nether Devil Flame. The Nether Devil Flame also awakened on its own and began to devour the alchemy fire. The remaining 2 alchemy fires were undoubtedly first-grade alchemy fires. Lu Hong frowned. Where are we going to find alchemy fires now? You focus on your cultivation. I'll think of a way. After Qin Feiyong finished speaking, he casually threw the 2 first-grade alchemy fires aside and left the ancient castle, appearing in front of the 3 chiefs. He looked at the 3 chiefs and asked, "Is there any tribe nearby that has alchemy fires?" No. The 3 chiefs thought for a while and shook their heads. It seems that I have to leave. Qin Feiyong muttered secretly, his eyes flashing, and said, "Where does Meng Yiping live?" "Young master, I'll take you there." A guard took the initiative to come up and said with a flattering face, "Okay, lead the way." Qin Feiyong smiled. After a dozen breaths, the guard led Qin Feiyong to a loft. There were also 4 guards on both sides of the door of the loft. The guard who led the way shouted arrogantly, "Madam has already ordered that Qin Feiyong will be our young master from now on. Hurry up and salute." "Greetings, young master." The 4 hurriedly knelt down and kowtowed. In fact, even without the guard saying it, they already knew. Because they all heard the middle-aged woman's order. Qin Feiyong looked at the guard and said, "You can go back, I'll go in by myself." "Yes, I'll take my leave." The guard ran away eagerly. What a bunch of snobs. Qin Feiyong's eyes were filled with disdain. He turned around and strode into the loft, entering the reception hall. The reception hall was empty. But soon, accompanied by a series of footsteps, Meng Yiping came down from the 2nd floor. "What are you doing here?" "Don't think that you can order me around just because you're the young master now. Let me tell you, I'm still in charge of the Meng family." Meng Yiping frowned and said in a deep voice, "Can you make the decision? Madam has already said that you 2 are not husband and wife, so don't pretend in front of me." Qin Feiyong laughed disdainfully. "What? You even said that?" Meng Yiping was shocked and hurriedly bowed. "Greetings, young master." "That's more like it." Qin Feiyong laughed coldly and asked, "Do you know the coordinates of the Ziyang tribe in Sky Thunder City?" "This subordinate knows." Meng Yiping nodded. "Tell me." Qin Feiyong said. Meng Yiping frowned and asked, "May I ask, young master, did you get madam's permission?" "What do you think?" Qin Feiyong sneered. Meng Yiping's eyes trembled as he hurriedly told him the coordinates of the Sky Thunder City and the Ziyang tribe. "The heavens do not disappoint those who work hard. I finally got the coordinates. Let's leave quickly." Qin Feiyong muttered and took out a teleportation gate without hesitation and quickly opened it. Then, under Meng Yiping's respectful gaze, he strode in. When the teleportation gate dissipated, Meng Yiping's face immediately twisted. Originally, he wanted to take revenge for his father, but he didn't expect Qin Feiyong to actually become the young master. "Father, your son is unfilial, I can't take revenge for you." He lowered his head and clenched his eyes tightly. His eyes were filled with pain. "That's not right." Suddenly, Meng Yiping suddenly raised his head, his eyes shining. Qin Feiyong had just become the young master. Why was he in a hurry to go to the Sky Thunder City and the Ziyang tribe? There was a problem. Chapter 379. As soon as he arrived at the entrance of the main hall, the Meng family lord looked at the 3 leaders and asked, Did Qin Feiyang obtain Madam's permission to go to Sky Thunder City and Ziyang tribe? What did you say? He went to Sky Thunder Pool and Ziyang tribe? The three leaders were surprised. You don't know? The Meng family lord frowned. We don't know. When he was talking to Madam, we weren't there. We don't know if Madam agreed. The three leaders shook their heads. Go and ask. A cold light flashed in the Meng family lord's eyes. The four of them ran up to the second floor, stood at the door of the lounge, and gently knocked on the door. Come in. The middle-aged woman's voice sounded. The four of them pushed the door open and walked to the tea table. They cupped their hands and said, Greetings, madam. The middle-aged woman said, I heard everything you said downstairs. He went to Sky Thunder City and Ziyang tribe without my permission. The four of them looked at each other, and a cold light flashed in their eyes. Madam, he's too ignorant. Let us kill him. That's right. We can't let such a person live. The four of them cupped their hands and said. The middle-aged woman waved her hand and said, It doesn't matter. Let him go. The four of them were stunned. A free-range person is more malleable. The middle-aged woman said with a meaningful smile. What do you mean? The four of them were puzzled. Don't worry about it. He can't run away. As long as I want to, I can find him at any time. By the way, I'll warn you. Don't touch him again. Otherwise, I won't let you off easily. Do you understand? The middle-aged woman glanced at the four of them. Her cold eyes carried a great pressure. We understand. The four of them said respectfully. You may leave. The middle-aged woman waved her hand and said, We'll take our leave. The four of them bowed and left. You want to run away after getting the battle arts? Is there such a good thing? Grow up quickly. When you can really help me, I'll look for you. The middle-aged woman looked out of the window and muttered to herself. Her eyes flashed with a strange light. Heavy snow swirled in the air, and the cold wind was bone-chilling. Qin Feiyang appeared out of thin air on a glacier where ferocious beasts roamed. Where is this? He looked around suspiciously. Roar! When the two ferocious beasts nearby saw him, they bared their sharp fangs and pounced towards him. Qin Feiyang looked over. The strength of the two ferocious beasts was not ordinary. One of them was a 4-star battle king. The other was a 5-star battle king. Whoosh! He didn't pay any attention to it and used the wind-riding steps to rush towards an ice mountain. When the two ferocious beasts saw his speed, their eyes widened and they immediately turned to flee. The ice mountain was several hundred meters in front of them, and it was several hundred meters tall. A moment later, Qin Feiyang climbed to the top of the ice mountain and looked around. To the west, north and south, there were endless glaciers. In the east, at the end of the glacier, there was an ancient city. However, because it was too far away, he couldn't see it clearly. After pondering for a moment, Qin Feiyang's eyes flashed slightly and he entered the ancient castle. He would think about it after he comprehended the 3 battle arts. 2 days later, Wolf King and Fatso opened their eyes one after another. The jade scroll in front of them also shattered with a crack. Wolf King said in surprise, You've comprehended it too? Nonsense, don't you know who Fat Lord is? Fatso smiled proudly and asked curiously, Brother Wolf, what's the name of your battle art? Wolf King said, Void Escape Steps. What about you? Void Escape Steps? What an old-fashioned name. Fatso's face was full of disdain. He rolled his eyes and said, Fat Lord's battle art is called Black Dragon Technique. How is it? Domineering, right? TSK. Wolf King's eyes were full of disdain. You're jealous. Fatso chuckled and said, Shall we go out for a walk? Brother also had the same idea. Wolf King nodded. At this moment, Qin Feiyang also opened his eyes, and the jade scroll in his hand shattered. Void Returning Art, successfully comprehended. He looked at Fatso and Wolf King, and said, You can go out, but you can't act recklessly. Wolf King laughed. Don't worry, we're just going out to practice our battle arts. Qin Feiyang really wanted to say, with the two of you, who would be at ease? But now, he didn't have the time to talk nonsense with them. With a wave of his hand, he sent Fatso and Wolf King out and continued to comprehend the Guiyuan sword art. A perfect battle art was not something that a low-grade battle art could compare to. Back then, Qin Feiyang had only comprehended the imperial wind steps and the cold wind palm for less than an hour. And now, the perfect battle art took an entire 2 days. If he hadn't opened the 3rd level of the Gate of Potential, no matter how talented he was, it would have taken him 2 to 3 years. 4 days later, when he opened his eyes again, he had already thoroughly comprehended the Guiyuan sword art and the phantom step. Sensing the movement, the pangolin beast opened its eyes and looked at Qin Feiyang in surprise, asking, "It's all done. What do you think?" Qin Feiyang stood up and laughed. "It's only been 6 days. Can you guys not be so abnormal?" The pangolin beast wailed. Qin Feiyang had thoroughly comprehended all 3 battle arts. And it only had 1 battle art, but until now, it had yet to enter the threshold. Now, it even had the heart to hit the wall. Staying together with this group of perverts was simply suffering. It might as well not comprehend it. Wait until it cultivated to the 9-star Battle King and opened the Gate of Potential. Qin Feiyang shook his head and laughed. With a thought, he appeared on the ice peak. Glancing around, there was no sign of Wolf King and Fatso. 4 full days passed. He didn't know where these 2 guys went to fool around. He jumped down, landed on the glacier, and began to look for berserk beasts to practice his battle arts. Another 3 days passed. He was almost proficient in the 3 battle arts, but Wolf King and Fatso hadn't returned yet. What are they doing? Qin Feiyang finished off a berserk beast and stood at a commanding height, scanning all directions. They really don't let me be at ease. Let's go to the city over there first. Muttering to himself, Qin Feiyang used the imperial wind steps and sped towards the city in the east. Awoo! Suddenly, a wolf howl faintly came from the west. Qin Feiyang raised his eyebrows, suddenly braked, turned back, and rushed towards the west. The sound was too soft, so he couldn't judge whether it was Wolf King or not. But just in case, he still planned to take a look. Awoo! More than 10 breaths later, the wolf howl sounded again. This time, he heard it clearly. It was indeed Wolf King. After all, after being together for so long, he could still recognize Wolf King's howl. Sure enough, he went to cause trouble again. He was quite angry. His footsteps paused slightly, then he used the phantom steps and quickly left, leaving behind after images. In the distance, there was an ice valley. But at this moment, the ice valley was in ruins, and the ground was full of traces of battle. And in the center of the ice valley, Wolf King and Fatso were back to back, their bodies dripping with blood as they coldly glanced around. There were 4 middle-aged men surrounding them, blocking all their escape routes. The 4 of them were all murderous. One of them said in a deep voice, "Hand over the alchemy fire immediately, and we will spare your lives. Since you've entered our pockets, don't expect us to spit it out." Wolf King disdained. "That's right, if you dare to kill us, Fat Lord will crush the Chenkuan bag, making the alchemy fire and the bag disappear together." Fatso sneered. The 4 of their faces immediately darkened. Fatso rolled his eyes and said with a sneaky smile, "Why don't we make a deal?" "What deal?" The 4 of them frowned. Fatso said, "We'll give you some gold coins to buy your alchemy fire." "Can alchemy fire be bought with gold coins? How dare you trick us? Even if you crush the Chenkuan bag, we'll kill you." The 4 of them were furious, and at the same time, they charged towards Wolf King and Fatso. "Look, what's that?" Fatso pointed to the sky and roared. The 4 of them instinctively stopped and looked up. Fatso sent a sound transmission. "Brother Wolf, run." Wolf King waved his claws, and his battle chi surged, sweeping up Fatso. Then, he used the void step and slipped out of the encirclement, rushing towards the exit of the ice valley. Despicable bastard, we were tricked by them again. The 4 of them were so angry that they flew into the air and chased after them. They were all combat emperors. Their speed was much faster than Wolf King's, and they soon closed the distance. Fatso said in horror, "Brother Wolf, what should we do?" "Don't panic. Little Qinzi must have heard my howl and should be on the way. Let's hold on a little longer," Wolf King said in a low voice. Fatso hurriedly said, "What if the boss didn't hear us?" Wolf King said helplessly, "Then we can only pray for our own good." At this point, it was useless to return the alchemy fire to the 4 of them. "Let's see where you can run to." The 4 of them shouted and stood in front of the man and the wolf. Fatso pointed behind them and shouted, Look, there's someone behind you. Damn Fatso, do you think we're stupid? Do you think we'll fall for your trick again? The four of them sneered. One of them stretched out his arm and pointed in the air. Two streams of battle chi with shocking killing intent shot towards the man and the wolf. But this time, there really was someone. A white figure flashed into the valley like a stream of light. It was Qin Feiyang. Wolf King and Fatso looked at each other and hurriedly lay on the ground to avoid the two streams of battle chi. Boom! Not far behind them, a broken ice mountain was instantly razed to the ground. The fatty couldn't help but feel a lingering fear. He signaled Qin Feiyang with his eyes. Then he looked at the four people and begged. Sirs, please don't kill us. We know we're wrong. One of them sneered. It's too late to beg for mercy now. At the same time, Qin Feiyang took out the Chong Shui and silently approached one of them. However, before he got close, he was discovered by one of them. That person shouted, "Who are you? Are you their accomplice?" There really is someone. The other three people were shocked and turned to look at Qin Feiyang. Seeing Qin Feiyang holding a dagger in his hand, their eyes flashed with shocking killing intent. Oh no! Fatso and Wolf King were anxious. It was not easy for them to come all the way from Iron Ox Town to this day. They could not fall here. Qin Feiyang was also burning with anxiety at this moment. He wanted to kill one of them without anyone noticing, tear open a gap, and rescue Wolf King and Fatso by surprise. Unexpectedly, he was discovered. Suddenly, an idea flashed in his mind. Seniors, you've misunderstood. I'm not their accomplice. On the contrary, they're all my enemies. I've been looking for them for a long time. Please step aside. I want to kill them with my own hands. Chapter 380. The four of them looked at each other with a trace of doubt in their eyes. But at this moment, Wolf King rolled his eyes and stared at Qin Feiyang. He laughed and said, I remember you. You're the young man who was thrown into the cesspit by us 2 years ago. Thrown into the cesspit? Fatso looked at Wolf King suspiciously. But in an instant, he suddenly realized. He also looked at Qin Feiyang and said with a smile, Fat Lord also remembers. How is it? How does the cesspit taste? Hearing this, the four of them looked at each other and looked at Qin Feiyang with pity. I'm going to kill you. Qin Feiyang's hair stood on end as his eyes turned blood red. Seeing this, the four of them looked at each other and retreated to the side with a playful smile. There was a good show to watch now. Idiot! Fatso and Wolf King couldn't help but laugh in their hearts. Whoosh! Qin Feiyang rushed in front of the four of them. When he approached the man and the wolf, he directly took them to the castle. The four of them who were ready to watch the show were stunned. What was going on? Not good. They're together. Damn it, we've been fooled again. Damned little bastard. Get the hell out here. The four of them were burning with anger. They were teased again and again. It was unforgivable. In the castle. Missing for a few days in a row and being chased by 4 war souls. You're really capable. Say it. What shameful things have you done these days? Qin Feiyang glanced at Fatso and Wolf King with a gloomy look. You've wronged us. That's right. We've been helping you find the alchemy fire these days. We've been so busy. The man and the wolf both looked very wronged. Alchemy fire? Qin Feiyang stared blankly and asked, Where's the alchemy fire? Fatso said, We'll only give it to you if you promise not to scold us. You're still bargaining? Qin Feiyang secretly snorted and nodded. Fine, I won't scold you. The man and the wolf looked at each other and smiled. Fatso took out an iron box the size of a palm. Next, Fatso opened the iron box, and a cluster of flames entered Qin Feiyang's sight. Wolf King grinned and said, We've asked around. This alchemy fire is of the 2nd grade. Does it have an owner? Qin Feiyang frowned. If there was no temperature, it meant that the alchemic fire had not awakened, which meant that it had an owner. Yes, the owner of the pill fire is a 1-star battle king. We have no choice but to erase the blood contract inside, Fatso said. Qin Feiyang asked, Is it one of the 4 people outside? That's right. Fatso nodded. Qin Feiyang grabbed the alchemy fire and said, "Tell me, how did you find this alchemy fire?" A man and a wolf immediately began to talk excitedly, their saliva flying everywhere. It turned out that, after they left the castle that day, they searched the glacier while honing their battle arts. They wanted to see if they could find any precious medicinal herbs. But inadvertently, they broke into the territory of a tribe. It was called the Sioux tribe. The 4 people outside were from the Sioux tribe. Originally, Fatso and Wolf King did not want to cause trouble, because they were afraid that Qin Feiyang would flip out. However, a few young people from the tribe stopped them and insisted that they hand over their Chenkuan bags. Was Wolf King someone to be trifled with? Of course not. Even if an immortal came down, it would not be afraid. In a fit of anger, it directly killed those people. However, before killing them, it was forced by Fatso to know that there was a second-grade alchemy fire in the tribe. After killing those people, Wolf King turned into the size of a palm, sneaked into the Sioux tribe, and stole the alchemy fire. However, not long after leaving the tribe, the people of the Sioux tribe found that the alchemy fire was stolen. So they tracked it all the way to this ice valley. How about it? We're amazing. As long as we erase the blood contract and let the nether devil flame devour it, it will transform into a third-grade alchemy fire. The Wolf King chuckled. Boss, you have to give us a reward. Fatso asked for a reward. Dong dong. Qin Feiyang's face darkened, and he directly gave a reward. Do you know how to write the word death? If anything happens, I'm afraid I won't even be able to find your bodies. Next time you do these things, can you inform me first? Qin Feiyang said angrily. Didn't you say you won't scold us? A man and a wolf muttered in dissatisfaction. Seeing this, Qin Feiyang was both angry and amused. It really didn't stop at all. Fortunately, nothing happened, otherwise he wouldn't know how to face it. All right, don't look like a little wife who has been wronged. Tell me, what else do you want to know? Qin Feiyang sighed helplessly. Humph, we have been wronged. Wolf King snorted coldly. Seeing Qin Feiyang's face darken again, it hurriedly smiled embarrassedly. The city in the east is indeed the Sky Thunder City. Fatso continued. We also inquired about the flame of heavenly thunder. Qin Feiyang's eyes lit up and asked, Any clues? Fatso said, More than clues, we already know where the flame of heavenly thunder is. Where? Qin Feiyang said. Fatso said, The flame of heavenly thunder is in Sky Thunder City. Sky Thunder City. Qin Feiyang's eyes flickered. He really hoped to get the flame of heavenly thunder as soon as possible. In this way, he could start refining the 9-chew yellow dragon pill. We don't know the details for the time being. We have to go to Sky Thunder City to inquire again. Fatso said again. Qin Feiyang nodded, listening carefully to the movements outside. Wolf King suddenly said, Do you think that woman will come to kill us? Who knows? Fatso shrugged his shoulders. Although he looked relaxed, he was actually very worried. Qin Feiyang said, That woman probably won't come. What do you mean? Wolf King and Fatso looked at him doubtfully. She is lurking in White Fox City, obviously hiding from something. She won't leave unless she has no other choice. However, it's hard to say if she will send the 3 leaders and Meng Yipping to find us. In short, just in case we have to change our appearance. Qin Feiyang said, Damn it, where did they go? I've lost contact with Dan Hua. They've probably escaped. Escaped? Impossible, unless they can teleport. Then tell me, where are they? The 4 middle-aged men stood in the air above the ice valley, searching every corner, but couldn't see Qin Feiyang and the others. They couldn't help but quarrel. Okay, stop quarreling. Let's go to Sky Thunder City to inquire. I don't believe that they will disappear into thin air. One of them shouted, a cold light flashing in his eyes. Finished. He stretched out his index finger and pointed in the air. A bright battle chi blasted into the ice valley below. Boom. Accompanied by an earth-shattering noise, the ice valley was instantly razed to the ground. The 4 of them scanned the bottom again, confirming it again and again before leaving. White-eyed wolf. Focus on cultivation. Qin Feiyang reminded and left the castle with Fatso. Amongst the few of them, Qin Feiyang's cultivation speed was the fastest. However, he had to copy the battle character, so his speed was slowed down. Then now Wolf King was the fastest. So, He hoped that Wolf King could break through to the War Emperor realm as soon as possible. With the War Emperor overseeing things, he could be bolder in the future. After changing his appearance slightly, Qin Feiyong and Fatso sped towards Sky Thunder City. However, Fatso looked like he wanted to say something along the way. A few hundred breaths passed. The two of them walked out of the glacier and Sky Thunder City entered their line of sight. The scale of Sky Thunder City was not very big, about the same as Yen City. However, there was not a single bit of snow on the city walls, including the buildings in the city. This was a bit strange. One had to know that it was snowing heavily. Even if someone cleaned it, it would not be so clean. And looking from afar in the center of the city, there was an ancient tower that was hundreds of feet tall. It was like a towering mountain, emitting a grand and ancient aura. Let's go! Qin Feiyong glanced at the ancient tower, retracted his gaze, called out to Fatso, and walked towards the city gate. Fatso frowned, gritted his teeth and said, "Boss, I have something to discuss with you." "What?" Qin Feiyong stopped and turned to look at him in confusion. Fatso said, "Might as well not go this time, Fat Lord." "What's wrong?" Qin Feiyong was even more puzzled, and asked, "Are you afraid?" What a joke, Fat Lord would be afraid. To be honest, Fat Lord actually wants to go into seclusion. Look, you are now a 7-star war king, Brother Wolf is an 8-star war king, and I'm only a 5-star war king. The gap is too big. Your talent is also better than Fat Lord's. If you don't work hard, the gap between you and Fat Lord will be even bigger. And today, if you didn't come in time, Fat Lord and Brother Wolf would have been in deep trouble. Fat Lord is now deeply aware that our strength is far from enough. Fatso sighed. Qin Feiyong was extremely surprised. This guy also knows how to be anxious? This is a good thing. I'm just afraid that the few of you will only know how to laze around all day and not cultivate. Alright, don't worry and go cultivate. I will think of a way to deal with the heavenly thunderfire. Qin Feiyong smiled. Fatso chuckled and said, "Thank you, boss. If you are too busy, just call Fat Lord." Qin Feiyong nodded, waved his hand, and sent Fatso to the ancient castle. Then with a smile, he walked towards the city gate. Back in the county of Yen, whether it was himself, Fatso, or Lu Hong, they were all still underage teenagers. Wolf King was also a child at that time. At that time, Fatso, Lu Hong, and Wolf King didn't know what responsibility was at all. But as the days passed, they had all become adults, sensible, and responsible. In the future, their names were destined to become legends in the great Qin Empire. "Brother, how are you?" The city gate was close, but suddenly, someone patted Qin Feiyong's shoulder from behind. Qin Feiyong collected his thoughts and turned his head to look. He saw a 17 or 18-year-old youth with tiger skin looking at him with a smile. He looked very bright and gave people a sense of familiarity. Beside the youth with tiger skin, there was a young woman wearing mink skin. Her skin was whiter than snow, her hair was black and beautiful, and her bright eyes were as clear as a mirror. Her entire body was filled with an ethereal aura. Chapter 381. Qin Feiyong looked at the two in confusion and asked, "Is there anything I can help you with?" The young man in leopard skin smiled and said, "I'm Mu Qing, and this is my sister Mu Xueqi. May I know your name?" "Su Ping." Qin Feiyong made up a name. "Su Ping?" Mu Qing sized up Qin Feiyong and smiled. "May I ask which tribe you're from, Brother Su?" Qin Feiyong smiled faintly. "I'm just a rogue cultivator." "Rogue cultivator?" Mu Qing was stunned and smiled. "Brother Su, it's fate that we meet. Why don't we go and have a few drinks?" Qin Feiyong was stunned. What's wrong with this person? Qin Feiyong said, "Thank you, Brother Mu, but I still have something to do. Let's meet again another day." "I see." Mu Qing's face showed a trace of disappointment, but he nodded and smiled. "Okay, then we'll have a drink the next time we meet. Goodbye." "Goodbye." Qin Feiyong cupped his hands and said. Mu Qing looked at the girl beside him and smiled. "Sister, let's go." Mu Xueqi nodded, and the brother and sister quickly walked into Sky Thunder City. Strange. Qin Feiyong frowned. Who would invite someone to drink on their first meeting? What was this person's purpose? With a trace of doubt, Qin Feiyong walked towards the city gate. There were 2 guards on both sides of the city gate. But they didn't check Qin Feiyong. Whoosh! However, just as Qin Feiyong was about to enter the city, 5 figures rushed over. The 4 people from the Su tribe were among them. The other person was also a guard. However, his aura was much stronger than the 2 guards guarding the city. Qin Feiyong's eyes flashed slightly, and he retreated to the side. The 5 people swept past him and stopped at the city gate. The 2 city guards bowed and said, "Greetings, Commander." The guard commander nodded. He took out a piece of paper from his Chenkuan bag and stuck it on the city wall. Qin Feiyong took a few steps back and looked over curiously. His expression suddenly stiffened. This was a wanted poster. There were 3 heads carved on it. They were none other than himself, Wolf King, and Fatso. Below the portrait of the human head, there were a few lines of bold and powerful words. The general content was as follows. These 2 people and a wolf had stolen the Su tribe's alchemy fire. They deserved death for their crimes. Anyone who makes a report will be rewarded with 1 million gold coins. After that, the commander looked at the 2 guards and said, "Capture them if you see them." "Yes." The 2 of them bowed and replied. The guard commander looked at the 4 people and smiled. "You all can go back first. If there's any news, this commander will inform you immediately." "Then I'll have to trouble you, Commander." The 4 of them cupped their fists and soared into the sky. The guard commander also followed them into the city and soon disappeared from Qin Feiyong's sight. Wanted poster. Qin Feiyong withdrew his gaze, looked at the wanted poster, and followed them into the city. Fortunately, he had changed his appearance in advance. Otherwise, he would definitely attract a lot of trouble now. Somewhere on the street ahead, Mu Qing and his sister walked side by side. "Brother, haven't you always been arrogant? Why did you take the initiative to greet Su Ping just now?" Mu Xueqi was puzzled. Mu Qing smiled and said, "Sister, don't you know your brother?" "Your brother, I never do meaningless things." "Why do you say that?" Mu Xueqi was surprised. Mu Qing smiled and said, "Su Ping actually changed his appearance. Maybe Su Ping is not his real name." "So what?" Mu Xueqi was puzzled. There were many people who changed their appearances. What was the problem? If it was just a change of appearance, I definitely wouldn't be interested in him. But I found out that he is a 7 stars battle king. And his real age is at most 18 years old. A glint flashed across Mu Qing's eyes. 7 stars battle king? How was this possible? Mu Xueqi was shocked. An 18-year-old 7 stars battle king? Was this a joke? Your brother has the all-seeing eye. I can see through all illusions, including a person's true appearance and cultivation. I can't be wrong. I know the geniuses of all the major tribes like the back of my hand. An 18-year-old 7 stars battle king. I've never heard of such a monster. This person's identity is worthy of being investigated. Mu Qing chuckled. Brother, I don't object if you want to investigate him, but you can't delay the proper business. Mu Xueqi whispered. Don't worry. I know what I'm doing. Let's go to the Pill Pagoda to register first. Mu Qing said with a smile. There was a wisp of wisdom in her bright eyes. Back to Qin Feiyong. As soon as he entered the city, he felt that the temperature in the city was completely different from outside the city. Outside the city, there was thick snow everywhere and bone-chilling wind. But the atmosphere in the city was very warm, and he couldn't feel the slightest bit of coldness. It was as if he was in spring. The city wall separated the two worlds. And along the way, he also found something unusual. There were many young people on the streets. There were young boys and girls around 13 or 14 years old and young men and women in their teens. They were in groups of 2 or 3, playing and fooling around on the streets. If that was the case, Qin Feiyong certainly wouldn't find it strange. But the key was that these people had extraordinary temperaments. At a glance, he could tell that their identities were not simple. Moreover, Qin Feiyong could conclude that they were not from Sky Thunder City, because he noticed that these people felt that everything in Sky Thunder City was very fresh. Unknowingly, the sky darkened. Qin Feiyong stopped in front of the door of a restaurant. The restaurant was called Wanru Restaurant. It was dozens of meters high and had a total of 10 floors. Its appearance was luxurious and grand. Many young people went in and out. Laughter and chatter could be heard coming from the inside. Young master, our Spring Rain restaurant is the best restaurant in Sky Thunder City. We have all kinds of good wine and delicacies. Why don't you come in and have a seat? When a waiter at the door saw Qin Feiyong, he immediately ran out of the restaurant and said with a flattering smile, "The biggest restaurant?" Qin Feiyong's heart skipped a beat. To inquire about information, a restaurant was undoubtedly the best place. The bigger the restaurant, the more luxurious it was, and the faster the efficiency. This was because people with status would usually come to such high-end places. "I'm not interested in food, but I want to stay for a while. Is there a quiet room?" Qin Feiyong asked with a smile. The waiter hesitated for a moment and said apologetically, "I'm really sorry, our Spring Rain restaurant's rooms are all full." Full? Qin Feiyong was stunned. The Spring Rain restaurant had 10 floors, and who knew how many rooms there were? It was actually full? Was the business here so good? The waiter said with a smile, "Young master, I'm really sorry. It's okay, I'll go take a look at other restaurants." Qin Feiyong smiled and turned to leave. But when he turned around, he saw a man and a woman walking towards him. It was Mu Qing and her sister. But at this moment, both of them had changed their clothes. Mu Qing was wearing a fitted white robe. She was about 1.8 meters tall and looked very energetic. Mu Xueqi was slightly shorter, about 1.75 meters. Her snow-white robe fluttered with the breeze. Her black hair was like a waterfall, messily draped over her shoulders. She was like a blooming snow lotus in the midst of ice and snow, pure and untainted by a speck of dust. The brother and sister also noticed him. "When I saw your back just now, I felt that it was you. It really is you. Brother Su, we meet again so soon. Don't you think this is fate?" Mu Qing said with a smile. "It is indeed fate," Qin Feiyong said with a faint smile. As the saying goes, one does not hit a smiling person. Although he did not know the brother and sister's purpose, he could not just turn around and leave since they were so polite. "Brother Su, we agreed to have a few drinks together the next time we meet. Don't tell me you're going to reject my invitation this time," Mu Qing said with a smile. Qin Feiyong pondered for a moment and nodded. "All right, when I find a place to stay, I'll come and have a few drinks with Brother Mu." "Find a place to stay?" Mu Qing was slightly taken aback. "Why don't you stay here? Although the Spring Rain restaurant is a little expensive, Brother Su doesn't look like a poor person." Mu Xueqi was puzzled. Her voice was like the sound of nature, pleasant to the ear. Qin Feiyong said with a smile, "There are no rooms in the Spring Rain restaurant. I can only look elsewhere." "No. That's impossible. The room next to mine is still empty, isn't it?" Mu Qing said with a frown. Qin Feiyong raised his eyebrows and looked at the waiter. The brother and sister also looked at him. Mu Qing said with dissatisfaction, "What do you mean by the Spring Rain restaurant? Are you looking down on us?" No. Young masters, miss, please don't misunderstand. Our Spring Rain restaurant is indeed full. Those empty rooms have also been reserved in advance." The waiter hurriedly explained. "Brother, I think we've really misunderstood. People from all the major tribes will come for the Pill Pagoda examination. As the largest restaurant, it's normal for the Spring Rain restaurant to be full." Mu Xueqi said. The waiter nodded and said, Yes. The two of you are already the last 2 rooms." Pill Pagoda examination? A trace of suspicion crept into Qin Feiyong's eyes. How could I forget about this? Mu Qing slapped her forehead and her eyes suddenly lit up. She turned to Qin Feiyong and said with a smile, "It's troublesome to look for them again. Why don't we just make do with it?" Qin Feiyong hesitated. Wasn't this person too enthusiastic? What was he trying to do? Mu Xueqi glanced at Qin Feiyong and said angrily, "Brother, can't you be more reserved? Brother Su Ping will misunderstand if you act like this." Mu Qing said with a smile, "Your brother is upright and righteous. I'm not afraid of misunderstandings." Mu Xueqi was helpless. She looked at Qin Feiyong and said with a smile, "Brother Su Ping, please don't worry. My brother has no ill intentions." "Young Master Su, forgive me for being blunt, but there are too many people participating in the examination. You may not be able to find a place to stay if you go now. In a few days, there will be more people. I'm afraid that by then, you can only set up a tent outside the city. The waiter said. Qin Feiyang said with a smile. All right, then I'll have to trouble Brother Mu. He didn't want to have too much interaction with this pair of siblings. After all, he would leave as soon as he got the fire of heavenly thunder. Everything here had nothing to do with him. But on second thought, why not stay and see what this pair of siblings wanted to do? Brother Su, you don't have to be so polite. It's not easy to go out. It's only right to take care of each other. Mu Qing smiled and said to the waiter, prepare a table of good wine and dishes. I want to entertain Brother Su well. All right, please come in. You're tuning in to the Xueqi's Martial Arts Saga YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.